You ready? Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Fat Sajak, and this is a full circle moment. I brought all the beverages up because I just knew. Let's not pussyfoot around today. We know why we're here. We know what we're doing. We know what we're watching. I brought frozen fruit. That might go from being my problem to being your problem. I might cause you a whole distraction because that black candle, which I believe black candles are supposed to be protected from like evil spirits or some shit, keeps dancing around on its own. So when you catch it, just know that we're just keeping out the demons together, aren't we? Aren't we? Not feeling particularly chatty right now, huh? Today we're talking about Gabbie Hanna. As you know, if you have been here before, a couple of things. One, I was planning on revisiting sort of the eras of Gabbie's journey on the internet, as it were, from beginning to present day. And in my quest to do that, Gabbie decided to seriously resurface to the internet to the point where, like, I've been, like, putting these videos and concepts together, and now I literally can't just do them in order, so we have to make this video first. I'm gonna try to make my intro as short as possible because, quite frankly, this is gonna be long. So before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to be. If not, well, you can suck a fat one. Or just, you know, get on with your life. Make sure you're subscribed for that. And that's all the self-promotion I'm going to do. There are some links to help out people on the ground in Minnesota down in the description below. They still need our help. That sip of Diet Cherry Coke was a bad idea. Just get into the video, because this has already been way too long. Oh, I've got the sniffles. So we've been covering Gabbie Hanna very extensively on this channel throughout the course of my tenure here. So for the past 5 or 6 years, is that how long? When was my first Gabbie video? The first Gabbie video I ever made on this channel was from September of 2020. That's really when I started making commentary content. I was sort of tangentially entrenched in sort of the drama that was going on then because of my friendship with another creator at the time, and you know, it sort of helped spur and spawn the event, like the evolution of this channel. At some point I had been covering Gabbie what felt like way too much, and it wasn't doing anyone any kind of service, so I stopped covering Gabbie Hanna altogether for quite some time. For my mental health, to sort of take my foot off the gas pedal of her mental health, if that kind of makes sense, and to sort of put my focus elsewhere. So when Gabbie was putting out a big expose series, that's what it's called. It's not called an expose series, it's called an expose, okay? It's kind of like when someone does a collab and it's blank X blank. It's not X, it's by or with. These are just the things I think about. So basically when Gabbie was doing that the whole sort of expose of literally everyone she's ever met and encountered on the internet, I stopped about halfway through that series because it was just time. For the most part, like, she's been largely off the internet until very recently. She started posting TikToks again that, let's just say for better or for worse, Gabbie is a person who exhibits patterns. I've said this a lot, like Gabbie is like the weather warning system for like a tornado. Her patterns definitely follow a certain, well, pattern. That's what patterns, you get it. You get what patterns mean. Okay. So basically, there will be like a lot of build-up, which is what all these TikToks that she's been posting lately have been, okay? She posted a really casual, like, how I conquered my fear of flying. And of course, everything ties to God because Gabbie found God in there somewhere when she eventually stopped saying she was the second coming of Christ, which I don't begrudge anybody for finding God or finding religion or faith in anything. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean that it can't be for other people. And I literally do not judge anyone for their desire to seek faith in a higher power, even if that's not tangible, as long as it's not hurting other people or themselves. But everything that Gabbie does now is very hyper God focused. So like everything else, it feels like a costume. Even if it's not, that's just how it feels. That's how it's presented, right? So a lot of these like posts she was making were real innocuous things. I had reported on the fact that she had gotten married, and which seemed like really fast, but like, again, she doesn't really live online, or she hadn't really lived online for very long. So, you know, who the fuck am I to say? I don't know anything about this guy. I've never seen their interactions. I've never seen their, you know, it's not like I watched their relationship play out and there's all these red flags. Like, is it weird that they, you know, seem to not know each other very well and then got married? Yeah. Is it possible that they've known each other since childhood and then found their way to each other in middle age? Sure. Why the fuck not? I don't know. I don't care. But anyhow, so those TikToks, these posts, the marriage, really bringing everything back to God and faith and the Bible and scripture. That shit is the tornado watch. Okay? And a tornado watch means that the weather is ripe for a danger noodle. The high pressure and low pressure systems are colliding. Your hot weather, it's real humid and sticky. It's about to get chilly. And then today we had the tornado warning was actually, the sirens started going off outside. They were going off, I could hear them. And I was like, what the f is that obnoxious noise? And then I went to the door and I was like, oh, it's tornado sirens, cool. And I'm from the Midwest, so I didn't go to the basement. We went to the front porch. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I've lost myself in the analogy. Today, Gabbie Hanna launched her podcast with her husband, which I'm sure is aptly titled An Actually Good Podcast. So the tornado sirens are going, that's a true story, by the way. Why am I talking like Drew Monson? Why, when I overcaffeinate, do I talk like Drew Monson? I was really annoyed by a sound I was hearing one time, and it turned out that it was tornado sirens. That's a real thing that happened. And then I did go to the porch and watch. Anyway, enough about me. Episode 1 of what I'm guessing is the second part of that Enough podcast.
I am the fucking victim.
And the title, of course, is Why Trisha Paytas Tried to Ruin My Life. So, Gabbie, I never start anything. Show me, please, where I start drama. Hannah, Kroner. Gabrielle? Is that we're going by Gabrielle now? This will be an hour and 12 minutes of her not starting drama. So I'm looking forward to that. She also fully re-uploaded like the podcast episode uncut with Trisha Paytas. Like
What year is it?
I haven't watched this yet. I'm sorry that this was really long-winded, a really long-winded intro. But I've been meaning to make like a Gabbie Hanna video, so I feel like I needed to give some context, especially if you're new here, because it's been a long time since I've made a long-form Gabbie Hanna video. Now would be a good time for your emotional support edible. I didn't bring the emotional support laundry. I do have the emotional support pile of things that I'm going to tie-dye and bleach dye. So we've got that going on. I also have emotional support hamster food. Any of that tickle your fancy? All right, let's get into this because this is gonna be a long night.
We're back at it, Bobby.
Yep.
Wow, right off the bat, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Okay.
We're back at it.
We're back at it.
They're back at it. I don't know if you caught that.
We've actually recorded this podcast twice already, both last night. The first time there was no video. So we're like, okay, let's try again. But I listened to the second one back and was pretty incoherent because of the conversation we had already we were just talking about stuff that had no context. Anyways, we're here today.
Not to be hypercritical or annoying, but like, you could have just not, we wouldn't have known. You could have just not, we wouldn't have known. We could have just gone, whatever.
Because how to just jump right into it. I just need to, get this off my chest. Like, I don't know how to start because everything in my body is like, I don't want to talk about this.
Okay. Well, could you tell the man with the gun to your head to fuck off or what? I know this is Gabbie's channel and all, but like, you should probably like introduce yourself and your husband.
I genuinely don't. I feel like every time it comes up, like in other episodes that we've done with like Taylor and Anna, every time it comes up, I just find every way to talk about anything else.
Immediately off the bat, confusing because this is labeled as episode 1. So who the fuck are Taylor and Anna? And where are the other episodes?
Yeah.
But I have to talk about it like in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this very well could be episode 1 of the podcast series, right? So
yeah, probably. And I guess that kind of helps me segue into the point is I feel like I can't do anything unless I address this massive elephant in every single room I walk into.
Religious psychosis? Because if it's Trisha Paytas, I don't think anyone's talking about it or thinking about it or referencing it or giving a fuck. I'm just being honest.
Where I'm a human being just like an adult, right? Like trying to live life, trying to function in society, volunteer, serve churches and communities, and I'm literally being rejected, and you being married to me, like being rejected from service opportunities and volunteer opportunities and just like being literally just triggered every day by comment sections, by, I go live, all of the live chat.
Girl, how many years are we gonna all have to collectively say the best place for you is probably not online? Like, I know it would suck to have to give up that like freedom of being able to just like go live or like talk to your fans or whatever the case may be, but like for real, you don't have to be here. You can have the thoughts that you have and like share them with your friends and family, share them with God, pick up a journal, start a community project. Like, I don't understand why we are required to live online. So I very much feel like this is the middle of a conversation and not the beginning of one, but it's been 2 minutes. Like,
just content that I get served being Gabbie Hanna, about Gabbie Hanna and her mental issues and her psychosis, and all my comments, like when I first started posting it a couple weeks ago, all positive, like finding a cool, some of my old fans, some new people who are just finding me, and it's just all positive. I love what you're saying, love what you're doing. And then I'm posting, I'm getting some viral videos, which literally triggers everyone on the internet. Oh, wait, Gabbie's like going viral again, so now I can go viral.
girl, it's not about going viral. I can't speak for all commentary channels. I don't give a shit about going viral. I do think Gabbie Hanna is an interesting person to talk about. I do think that, I don't know, I have a lot of thoughts. I'm just gonna let her talk, and I guarantee I'm gonna get where I want to go.
By being hateful towards her. Mm-hmm. So I'm just scrolling and then I see pictures or videos and pictures with hundreds of thousands of likes, millions of views that literally just say nothing except for hateful things. And then if you call them out on it, it's like feigned as, no, it's just genuine concern. Like, I'm actually concerned you're experiencing psychosis. And every time this happens, I say, why do you think I'm experiencing psychosis?
Because you are offering advice to people like Taylor Swift, who don't know you're alive and don't care and don't want or need your advice. And I'm not even a Swiftie. Because you're out here saying batshit crazy things, okay? Listen, I'm not saying this from a hateful place. I'm literally saying this from like, if I heard one of my friends or family speak the way Gabbie does into the void at people that she doesn't know, will never know, and offer like these like diatribes of advice, life advice, like with all due respect, like nobody is like, gee, if I could take life advice from somebody, who would it be?
Definitely Gabbie Hanna.
And it's not that Gabbie has a bad life. Like, she's all set money-wise. She's in a marriage, you know. She seems to be happy in her daily life. Like, that's best case scenario for anybody, right? But, like, we've also watched her do a lot of scary shit online. And she wants to pretend like that didn't happen or shouldn't be concerning. She came back initially to the internet with this whole diatribe about how I've limited myself and I locked out my phone and I'm only allowed on social media like XYZ times because I don't want to get sucked back in. And now she's posting regularly again. And again, the patterns are showing up where the TikToks are sounding a little unhinged. Again, not saying that in an accusatory, derogatory, insulting kind of way. They just literally sound unhinged. If my best friend was like, I started posting TikToks and sent me the TikTok saying the things that Gabbie said verbatim, I'd be like, babe, are you okay? Can we get you evaluated? Like, are you all right? And again, not as an insult, like as like, what's going on there? Because like, that's not, it's, you know what? We're only 3 minutes in. Let's just keep going.
My life is fine. Like, that's the most frustrating part is like, my bills have never not been paid.
No one's questioning your paid bills, babe. This is going to be really long, isn't it?
I have never not been safe until people started showing up to my house. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never been putting myself or anybody else in danger, just like expressing myself in ways that people don't like. But because of the narrative that's been created, and that's the purpose of this video, is addressing the root of why is this thing. It's just, for some reason, we all know that Gabbie Hanna is psychotic.
I'm going to have to rely on my handy dandy hard drive real quick. I'm just going to take a quick break to share this with you, and then we're going to get back to the pod.
Help me! Help me! Wake the fuck up! You want me to do something better than this? You want me to do something other than fight for his kids? My kids? Our kids? What's better than this? What is better than this? Tell me. How do you want me to abuse my power? How do you want me to abuse my power? How do you want me to abuse my power? How do you abuse your power? How do you use your voice? What do you talk about? I'm talking about dying homeless babies on the street. What are you talking about? Where should I spend my time? Is that negative to you? Are the dying babies on the street negative to you? Am I projecting them and myself onto you? You're damn fucking right. That's my God-given right. Okay, so anyway, when the viewers hit 666, last time I was getting a call from an unknown number. And then, okay, I mean, you guys just saw it. So when the viewers were at 666 last time, I got a call from an unknown caller ID, which I usually don't get. Usually it'll say scam likely or something. So that means a blocked number called me as my viewers hit 666. And then in my head, I was like, okay, it's just a coincidence. Calm down, chill, take a breath. I get a little bit panicky. And then just again, it hit 666 and I said it out loud and and it's August 6th. There's somebody on my doorstep. I'm dead serious.
LA City 911, operator 930.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Hold on, I have to end a live stream because I'm about to give my address. There's somebody on my porch. We all witnessed something which was a result of this, right? And it's like, okay,
A result of what? We've all witnessed something that was a result of this. What is this? Scrutiny? Criticism? Psychosis? Because any of that was not, no drama channel caused that, okay? No comment section caused that.
okay, where did this start? And all I want is peace and love. But I also want truth. And the truth is this all started with Trisha Paytas.
I think we all know where it started, but I'm going to let you finish because it's your podcast.
And I just need to say it all out so that there's an account and a record of my side.
Oh my God, again? I thought we have done this already.
Because I've tried to defend myself before, and I spent so many hours, days, weeks, literally going back in phones and hard drives.
Why is he here? Like, this could have just been a Gabbie Hanna sit-down video. Why is he here? Is this going to turn into the Enough podcast again? This time, I am the fucking victim.
From years and years ago to prove that what I was saying was true and what was being said about me was blatant defamation and slander.
No. Again, we're using words that are just not accurate. When we watched the full thing of the Gabbie and Trisha podcast and each of their analyses of it, if I do recall, the conclusion was that Trisha continued to say that she had no memory of inviting Gabbie to Thanksgiving or something like that. That they don't, one of them misremembered something that the other remembered correctly, and then vice versa. So they each misremembered something. They cleared it up. It was in a voice note. It was what it was. And then, I don't know. I'm no Trisha Paytas apologist. I remember at the time I did stand firmly with Trisha Paytas over Gabbie Hanna. Having gone back and looked at it for the series that I was working on, I will say I found myself on a more neutral ground this time, with my biases being a little more tapered down than they were back then. But again, to the degree that we are talking about this in 2026.
What year is it?
And not that many people cared. And the people who did care were completely shouted down and harassed. If you left any type of defense or logic or support of me in any way, those comments, and people can let you know right now, if you're one of those people, comment it. So many people DMing me or creators saying, I'm so sorry for what you're going through. I wish I could defend you, but I can't right now because XYZ. Drama channels or commentary channels saying, I want to defend you, but it's just not trendy enough. Literally, I've had drama channels tell me that.
Okay, I'd love to see the screenshots of that. I didn't defend Gabbie at the time because I didn't think Gabbie was correct. I probably would have made a few more concessions looking back at it now, but I still don't think... I even remember thinking, watching it then, who the cares? Why? Who cares? Why does this matter? Why can one or the other of them not just be okay, enough? I will concede that I stood harder for Trisha then than I probably would today. And that's with the podcast thing. With the whole, I hope you know the lore of all this. If not, I have a hell of a playlist for you. With the whole telling Jason Nash and David Dobrik that Trisha had herpes thing, I am 100% on Trisha's side for that one. Have not moved on that one.
They'd be like, oh yeah, it's just not getting views to support you.
Yeah, to support you. Whereas people that are hating on you and, talking about literally mental demonic attacks are getting all the views. You know,
Right.
like
What? He has a very relaxing voice, though. He should read audiobooks for a living.
and yeah, I mean, to piggyback off what you're saying here of just kind of finding that starting point where it all started. I mean, me as an outsider, like now we're married, now we're the closest people to each other. But from an outsider, I knew nothing about this situation.
Right, because, like, who cares, right?
And so I just figured we could start with like when you first like met Trisha or first started talking to Trisha, like how did that transpire? Because
Right.
yeah, because it
Okay.
seems like you guys had some history. You
We
know?
had some history, but the problem was she pretended like we didn't.
Yeah.
Right. She did. I will give you that. I do feel like on a lot of spots when they talked in the podcast and Gabbie attributed a lot more things to like their friendship than Trisha seemed to. But again, Trisha's state of mind then wasn't great. And also they were still kind of in their piece of shit era. So quite honestly, the fact that we're trying to make this the core of all these problems came from Trisha Paytas and not from the situation with Jesse Smiles and Curtis Lepore. It feels very disingenuous. But again, there's so much of this podcast left. I'm going to have, oh my God, this is going to be like a 4-hour video.
Trisha was just like low-key a fan of me. And I was low-key a fan of hers too. Like I knew who she was. She knew we were just creators, right? So then, you know, DM after she's tweeting at me, she's saying she wants to be VIP at my show. She's saying she wants to be friends with me. Like literally was just tweeting at me, tweeting support at me all the time. So we end up, you know, DMing, exchanging numbers with each other. And just like texting. We had like a texting friendship, but you know, as you've brought up, like you can build real friendships online, right? And
Oh, very much so.
but
yeah.
the thing that's also weird about her text messages to me that makes all of this so much crazier, and I didn't even remember so much of this stuff until I was actually looking at the text messages, but she was literally texting me being like, our friendship means so much. And I remember receiving those messages and being like, I've never even hung out with this person one-on-one like that. So
That's interesting. I feel like I'm going to have to go back to that podcast because that feels like a rewrite of history. But sure, for the sake of this podcast, sure.
like,
Yeah.
this is a lot, but I also recognized something in her, which is like, okay, she's lonely. She's like having a hard time mentally. She's like, you know, spiritually, and, you know, she needs a friend.
You could be one of the biggest online creators as well, and all of those things could be true.
Yeah.
Like it's all, you know, there's a big difference between just having a really active, like outgoing personal social life and then just having a life that you're living online where it kind of looks like you are, but you're really not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you guys weren't actually friends, which was actually Trisha's logline in the beginning or back then, how would you know what her personal life was like?
But I was just trying to be like, you know, kind to her. Like I liked her. You know what I mean? It's not like I was like, oh, I'm just being nice to her. Like, no, we were just friends. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We didn't hang out that much. Like she invited me to her birthday party. I did go, but it was her birthday party. She's drunk. She's talking to everybody. So we really didn't talk that much at her party.
Yeah.
And then I think we might have had one more crossover, maybe two, at like a mutual friends party. But like her and I have never hung out. Like it was never like that. But this is what happened, and I feel like this is a connection that nobody has really made. Like I was just talking to my best friend who has been there literally through all of it, knew me before, during, after, was following it, and she was like, I never realized that's what it was because everything was so chaotic at once. But there was an actual motive to this. So, see, I just feel so bad like talking about this stuff. And
Okay, but again, we're going to need the guy with the gun to your head to take a step off, okay? You are not required to talk about this. So I don't believe for a second that you don't want to talk about this. How many times in her career has Gabbie said, oh, I know how to I know how to make a viral moment. I know how to go viral. It's so easy. Same old shit.
like it feels almost wrong for me to talk about it. And I wish that it wasn't made my business, but it was. Because now it's like I have to talk about somebody's sexual history.
But you don't, though. You didn't then, and you don't now. Isn't that crazy? Did you know that you could just move on with your life? Did you know that? Did you know that you could just go do things that make you happy, just do them and not live in the comments section of your videos and live streams? Did you know that you could do that? Because you can.
Which is not my business and I would never talk about publicly.
Even though you did in an Instagram story, okay?
But it actually matters in this context. So to give a recap of this, I had a friend. We'll just use the name. Who cares? Everybody knows who it is. So one day I was with Shane. I had just filmed his podcast and he said something about Trisha's herpes. And I said, what? And he goes, oh, she's totally open about it. She's talked about it online before. And I was just like, I didn't know that. But I did remember a video where Trisha was talking about the STDs she's had. She was listing them off. And then she said, and there's one incurable one that I don't want to name online. If you have the clip, find it, send it. I had it at one point. I have posted videos with all of the screenshots and evidence against all of this.
I'm going to stop you right there. Herpes is an incurable STD, yes, or STI, I suppose they call them now. Still super fucking stigmatized. More people than you think. Many people have herpes and don't know that they have herpes. Many people have herpes and may never know that they have herpes because it lays dormant. Okay? Continuing to make a shameful topic out of something that's actually very common, it sucks, first of all. Second of all, I don't care if Trisha had made these things public. If this video exists, Trisha posted it herself. It is Trisha's choice to talk about it or not talk about it, to name it or not name it. It has never been Shane Dawson's choice. It has never been Gabbie Hanna's choice. Whoa, we are throwing pens in this house. Almost just fell on my head. Not a Trisha apologist, okay? I know Trisha has done some really f***ed up shit, okay? I'm just pointing out the facts.
So it's out there. If this is what I was thinking the other day. If D'Angelo Wallace could find that filmed on a potato clip from a lost episode of my spin-off podcast, everything's out there. If you want to see my actual responses to all of this stuff, it's out there.
It's in the archive somewhere,
Yeah, so they're out there in the ether.
Yeah. It's on somebody's old hard drive,
It's on somebody's new hard drive.
Probably on my hard drive.
You're losing it. You're manipulating. You're playing the victim. Fuck you. So I'm like, okay, didn't really know this, but now I have this information. Never gonna talk about it. Never gonna tweet about it. Never gonna expose anything about it. However, this was maybe a few weeks or a couple months before her and Jason started hooking up / dating. So I remember, and by the way, I never watched the vlogs. Everybody knows that I was always behind on what was going on, even more than the viewers, because I just wasn't watching the vlogs. So they come over and Jason is talking about how he had sex with Trisha. And I have this thing in my head of oh my gosh, her best friend openly told me she has herpes and said she talks about it online. So this wasn't a whisper of a YouTuber saying. This was her best friend was saying, yes, this is true, and she said it publicly and isn't ashamed, right? So then I asked him, hey, did you use a condom?
Which, by the way, weird. Because if you are assuming that this is public knowledge because Trisha herself has posted it, then you could probably safely assume that Jason knew it because it was public knowledge. Also, Jason and Trisha, both adults. Adults are responsible for their own sexual health, informing their partners, things like that. If you feel the need to ask Jason Nash if he wore a condom while having sex with Trisha Paytas, that implies that you don't think Trisha Paytas is responsible enough to handle her own sexual health. And maybe she fucking isn't.
And that might sound weird, but we're adult friends. You know what I mean?
And they're adult sexual partners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is adult friends talking. He said no. And these are my exact words. Listen, I do not know if this is true, obviously, but Shane told me that Trisha has herpes, and I don't know why he'd lie about that so openly.
Because he's Shane fucking Dawson. Have you ever heard the way he spoke about Trisha Paytas or Tana Mojo? He talked about them like they were cheap whores who were not real people. So, That was also kind of the nature of their humor. Like, obviously, none of my business. None of my business will remain none of my business. But that language, talking about Trish having herpes and da-da-da, I can hear that coming out of, look, we've watched a lot of Shane Dawson on this channel, right? I can hear that coming out of his mouth in a way that is derogatory and meant to be a joke. I can hear it coming out of her mouth in a way that is meant to be a joke. Even if it is serious, still not your fucking business. They are adults who can handle their own sexual health.
I think she has talked about it online. So if you plan on hooking up with her, you need to have this conversation with her, ask her about it, which is literally the best possible thing I could have done. Yeah. It's like, here's I don't know the truth, but you ask her about it.
Sure. If you have to interject, if you have to get between your friend and potential herpes covered genitalia, sure, I guess so. Where we didn't need to take it was Instagram.
There was no, don't tell Trisha I told you. Like, there was literally, it was ask her about it. I told him to.
Right.
So then she apparently finds out because he asks her about it. So then I'm hearing whispers for like, I don't know how long of, oh, hey, did you tell people that Trisha had herpes? Like, people keep texting me and stuff about this. So then we had a mutual friend.
Was that Gabbie DiMartino?
Who I was like close with. And I was just like, hey, did she say anything about this to you? And she was like, yes. She said basically, oh, are you friends with Gabbie? She keeps telling people I have herpes, which isn't true. Like, I never was telling people that Trisha had herpes.
You were posting about it on Instagram.
Right.
I told a friend who had unprotected sex with somebody who I was told and she said has an incurable STD. Like, that is what a friend would do. And I'm telling you right now, if you take the side of don't tell your friend that they're sleeping with somebody raw dog who has an incurable STD and has openly admitted it on the internet, you're not a friend.
I don't know. I feel like that's a slippery slope because again, they're both consenting adults who are responsible for their own sexual histories. And also, I'm going to wager that Trisha Paytas was not the first person that Jason Nash ever put his raw dog into. I'm going to wager Jason Nash's STI panels were also not perfectly clear. You know what I'm saying? And again, the stigma around it is insane. And again, less of a problem with you telling Jason, even though that's weird, but I can understand the motivation behind it. I can understand where you're like, hey, just looking out for a friend. Gotcha. But also, like, when you took it to fucking Instagram and you didn't conceal who the you were talking about, I think that's where the bigger problem was. Okay? I think that's more of the issue the general public took. Yeah, it's weird that you got involved in the sexual relationship of two people you know in that way. Because they're both adults, again. If Jason is deciding to raw dog people, then that's the risk he takes. Right? So that was his first instinct, was just to raw dog Trisha Paytas. And even if he asked Trisha, hey, do you have any incurable STDs? And Trisha was like, no, that's still Jason taking that into his own hands. Or something. Raw dogging somebody without a proof of clear STI panel is still just as that's irresponsible too. So this conversation makes it out like Trisha is the most irresponsible person in the room, and they are equally being irresponsible. Both adults are required to be responsible to maintain good sexual health. Thanks.
Like, what? How can you enable that behavior of like, it's not my business?
Right.
No, this is your health.
Okay, but it's also not your fucking business. Worry about your health, girl. If he's gonna raw dog somebody, he's gonna do that one way or the other. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Incurable STD. This is the right thing to do. Tell your friend. And if you have a friend who disagrees with you, cut them off. That person is not your friend. Cut them off. Anyways, so here's what I went wrong. I was feeling very petty. I was getting very annoyed because I think I confronted her about it. And I was just like, stop. Like, stop telling people that I'm she spread the rumor herself that she had herpes. Like, I did not spread that rumor. She spread the rumor trying to get ahead of a rumor that I wasn't trying to spread.
Right.
Does that make sense?
She spread it. Shane spread it. You were just trying to help a friend in one-on-one communication.
Right, of course, because it's Gabbie, and she would never do anything underhanded to hurt somebody else, ever.
Right.
Yeah.
And told him to confront her directly.
Yeah.
So anyways, I get real petty at this point. I make an Instagram post where I think it was a poll. And I was like, here's a question. If you found out that your friend is sleeping with somebody who by good source you heard might have an incurable STD, would you tell them or you wouldn't? And then she sees it, gets immediately triggered. There was no clue that it was about Trisha at all.
I believe her name was like left in the corner. I'll see if I can find it. I gotta go back into the archives of the old noodle. And everybody was able to put two and two together that she was talking about Trisha Paytas. So.
Like, literally nothing would have led to that. Like, it was such a general, if you found out your friend was sleeping with someone with an incurable STD. But she got really triggered by it, made this video immediately, like within the hour, on the bathroom floor, saying, guys, Gabbie Hanna won't leave me alone. She's a stalker. She's crazy. She's delusional. She's imagined this entire friendship with me. She started this rumor that I have herpes. She keeps telling everybody I have herpes. She's a mean girl.
Okay, this is gonna sound really victim blamey, okay? I'm just acknowledging that before I say it out loud. And again, still not a ride or die for Trisha Paytas. That was what her content was. I mean, it's like, I don't know, man. Like that was the nature of Trisha's content then. And again, Trisha wasn't all there. And like she was doing, I believe she was doing a lot of drugs at the time. Like it's like an impossible conversation. It's like an impossible argument to have because, like, yes, at the core of it, if that, you know, let's take Gabbie at face value and say this is exactly how things went down. Trisha Paytas goes and sits on her kitchen floor like she always did and made a screamy crying rants and you know, fuck you Gabbie Hanna and this, that, and the other. And it's like, but what were you expecting her to do? You can't play with fire and then not expect to get burned. You know what I mean? Like, to call that era of Trisha Paytas a loose cannon is an understatement. And then you have to wonder, like, did Gabbie Hanna know that, you know, that could be the outcome and she was just playing it out? Because, like, again, much like, I don't want to talk about this, like, not everything has to happen online, you know? We don't always have to talk about it online. We don't always have to poll the audience. We don't always have to reassure the audience that I am so kind.
She's like the meanest girl on the internet. Nobody knows it. Just goes full-fledged. Oh, and the most important one and the most persistent one was Gabbie Hanna is a liar. Gabbie Hanna is lying. Wait, there might have been one that says do not trust Gabbie Hanna, but I might be exaggerating that part in my brain because honestly this whole thing has just felt like a scene from Mean Girls, but like real life. But like I'm Katie and they're all like Regina and the Mean Girls.
Girl, get over yourself. You are not Katie Heron. You're Glenn Coco.
And like the rest of the school. But anyways, yeah, it was like from day one, off the top, don't trust her. She's a liar. You can't believe anything she says, especially if she says I have herpes.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't the discussion, but sure, for the sake of this podcast, why not?
Yeah.
So like I don't respond to it because I was just like, that's gonna die. Like let her get it out. Like what am I gonna respond to, right? Like
Sure.
I am so kind.
Yeah.
So then this idea of like she's crazy, she's a psycho started with the motive of Trisha had to literally immediately destroy my credibility.
Yeah.
She had to convince everybody that I don't even know this girl. Like there's all of this evidence that we actually had a friendship and that she was like, I've never even heard one of her songs. Mountains of footage of her singing my music.
Here's my theory. I think Gabbie Hanna thinks Trisha Paytas is her whole problem because Trisha Paytas does to Gabbie Hanna what Gabbie Hanna tries to do to everybody else. That's my theory. Not to already overuse the word, but like the way, you know, the way it was sort of proven that Trisha basically was gaslighting Gabbie into like, I don't remember that. There was video evidence of a few of those instances. So like, you know, either Trisha was really fucked up and she really doesn't remember those times, or she was just straight up gaslighting Gabbie. And I think it pisses Gabbie off because that's the only chance that Gabbie has to see the way that Trisha makes her feel is exactly how Gabbie makes other people feel. And I think it infuriates her because of course it does. Of course it does. Gabbie Hanna's behavior over the past 5 years or so has been infuriating. Well, maybe more than that. Maybe 5 to 7 years. Has been infuriating because she does the same shit.
Like that clear day and night, right? So this is crazy making to me because I'm just like, how is anybody believing this? And then the thing that crushed me and like actually destroyed my self-esteem was realizing that all of the evidence could be out there and people would still choose to hate me. And when I realized that people chose Trisha Paytas and believed her over me, it was just like, oh, I literally want to off myself. Yeah. Like that's what people think of me, is people are going to believe Trisha Paytas despite me having all of this evidence that she's literally lying for attention and out of fear. But it just never stopped. It was like video after video after video.
Okay, but let's take a look at the video after video after video. They were all, what would you call it, hypomanic? I mean, they were all really like she was in a psychosis. And again, the parallels there between Trisha at her like breaking point versus Gabbie in what appeared to be a manic episode or religious psychosis or whatever the fuck you want to call it, they look very similar, right? They looked like they experienced very similar things. So, I mean, I think it's interesting that Gabbie wants that version of Trisha to be responsible for everything she said and did or denied or whatever videos she made. But Gabbie doesn't have to be held responsible for the things that she said and did while she was in a similar state of mind. Transphobic things, the racist things.
Hey, trans folk, I'm going to give you some of Mama's tough love right now. I want you to know that I'm here for you always. I will accept you through your journey no matter what. The choice is always yours to be happy. But I'm telling you right now that if you learn to love yourself, please, baby, please love yourself because I love you. No false idols. I am your mother. Love your body. Love what God gave you. It's fun. Every sick thought you have, explore it. Is this safe? Is this sane? Yes, baby. You are safe and you are sane. You are confused. And I'm here to help you and show you if you please because I love you. And if not, I love you anyway for fucking ever and ever and ever and ever. Forever. I have a genuine question. Give me genuine answers. Let's open up a discourse. Why is it that when a black woman sings the praises of Jesus, gospel, yes, Lord! Yes, Lord! Preach, brother! Preach, sister! Why is that okay? Why is that okay? What do they know that we don't? Maybe that's why we're so fucking scared of black people. Is it because they have some type of power? But then when the white man found that power, they did everything they could to take it away. And for thousands of years, have? Not on Father Time's. Watch your mouth. Out with soap. He might just do it for you. So would you rather the kind colored girl stay in the ghetto like you want us to? Should I just stay out of the nice, beautiful neighborhood with the wonderful school district for my children to avoid the assholes? Nah, I'll be good.
You know, she doesn't have to be held account to any of that, according to her. I think I have cracked the case on this one. Don't ask me why I have this.
And then I would respond, and then video after video, and each one's just getting crazier. It's like, she's showing up to my house. I had to get extra security. I gave them her picture.
You invite her for the podcast? When did she just show up at your house? You would have documented that. I don't remember that. Am I misremembering? Does anyone else remember that? I don't remember that.
I'm afraid for my life. She's crazy. I'm afraid. She literally tweeted, I'm afraid she's going to kill me.
And meanwhile, you didn't even know where she lived at all.
I did not know where she lived.
Okay, she was saying that Gabbie showed up at Trisha's house. Got it. I don't really remember that either, but I'm going to take her word for it on that.
But why did she know where I lived? Because in one of her
Okay, never mind. I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
her videos, she's like, I hate that we even live in the same area. I hate that she breathes the same breath as me. And I was like, I don't know where you live.
Yeah.
Why do you know where I live? Like literally, like,
Yeah.
and when I realized that she was projecting all of this onto me, and she's also a copycat. Like she copies my music video visuals.
Yeah, her and BB Rex, all right?
She'll literally, like, I'll wear a shirt and then she would pop up wearing that shirt. Like I had this one wishbone necklace. She like pops up with this wishbone necklace. Like it was just, she was literally copying me, mimicking it, saying she's a fan.
Yeah.
And then she painted me out to be this like obsessive stalker who imagined a friendship with her. Meanwhile, she's texting me saying our friendship means so much and we've never hung out. You know what I mean? So it's like when I realized she was projecting all of this onto me.
Wait a minute, though, because when they did a podcast together, Gabbie's whole thing was, I'm butthurt because I thought we were friends, and Trisha's whole thing was, I don't remember it that way. Whoever's telling the truth there doesn't fucking matter, because now the story is that Gabbie realized that Trisha was projecting onto her, and it was weird that she was so obsessed with her. Like, bitch, what? Keep your story straight. What are you talking? Am I wrong? Like, does that not feel completely opposite of what that podcast was? I'm not going back to watch it in full. I don't have that kind of time.
When she was tweeting, I'm afraid for my life, I'm afraid Gabbie Hanna's gonna kill me, my thought was literally, I think Trisha Paytas is thinking about killing me. Because everything else to this point has been such a projection, this mean girl, rumors, gossip. Like that's what she was doing to me this whole time, starting a rumor that I started a rumor I didn't start.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
she was mean.
yeah.
She was literally showing up places, which is why I made the story asking, are you friends with Gabbie Hanna? Oh, she started this rumor about me. She's the meanest girl in the entire world.
Yeah.
Almost. Almost.
Almost.
Almost. But we'll
And-
get to that one.
And it's worth just taking a quick pause to mention too that we completely understand that like everybody involved, anybody that we're going to talk about in this podcast, in these podcasts that we're going to end up doing together, we're all at much different places in our lives. You know what I mean? And we can recognize that. But because of the psychological damage and trauma that happened in your life, this is still something that follows you to this very day.
Why? So this is another round of like Gabbie Hanna needs an apology, even though she's never properly apologized to anybody that she's hurt. Got it.
Right.
These comments are still present to this very day. So I just want to recenter the focus on that's why we're talking about this.
Yeah,
this
because
is
it's
an
easy for
ongoing
me.
part.
Yeah, and it's easy for me to get kind of sidetracked and like
Yeah.
get heated. But the problem
and
is,
relive that moment. Yeah.
especially the moments, the years.
Yeah.
And that's part of like not just OCD, but what this is, which was psychological abuse.
Here we go. We are back. Happy 2026, everybody. Now it's just psychological abuse. The narcissistic abuse has taken a backseat.
This is psychological abuse on so many levels. And in fact, where's my phone? Because I want to read what ChatGPT said about psychological abuse.
Oh, good. We're using ChatGPT. That's fine. I don't like having access to water anyway.
Because this is a term that I'm finally like just getting a better relationship with. Because it's so like, it's a weird trait to want to be a victim. And there are people who want to be victims, right?
Sure. There are people who want to be victims.
I am the fucking victim.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but in every podcast or situation, Gabbie has always painted herself to be the victim. She's been the victim of Joey Graceffa and Daniel Prada. She's been the victim of Jessie Smiles. She's been the victim of Angelica Oles and all the rest of the drama channels. She's been a victim of literally everyone. And of course, Trisha paid us, where it all began or whatever.
But like, to just call this what this is, I am a victim of psychological abuse on a mass scale.
As is everyone else who has ever interacted with you. Carry on.
By many people, but spearheaded first and foremost by Trisha Paytas. And then by Ethan Klein, which is the next. I asked ChatGPT.
If I would have guessed who would have been the next person that their podcast would have been about, it would not have been Ethan Klein. Odd.
Sorry, guys. I know a lot of you say it uses a lot of water, and I have to be honest, I'm not smart enough to understand what you're saying.
Just because you don't understand that it denudes vital resources, you should probably just keep using it because ignorance is bliss, and who fucking cares, right? How long till you're pregnant? Then your kids can figure it out for themselves later on after the rest of us are dead.
To be honest, I think that those data centers would be there regardless. I understand that chat is like...
Hey, fucking Maria, I'm not listening to this. Just tell me what ChatGPT says about psychological abuse. I am not here to listen to Timu American Alfie Day's take on denuding our resources using ChatGPT. I don't need your uneducated bullshit.
Other people have been, quote unquote, victimized in this. I don't understand it. I mean, they've moved on with their lives. They're doing their thing.
They've started and been given
whatever.
great opportunities, great careers.
This is something that you're still actively living with every single day.
That's because Gabbie Hanna has never made any proper amends with anyone. And I'm not saying that if she feels like she's been wronged by Trisha Paytas, she needs to grovel and apologize and blah, 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 blah. I'm saying that in the instances where she was wrong, she'd never admit that she was actually wrong, why or how, and actually make an apology for it. So this shit doesn't just go away when you go, I'm really sorry. Like in general, if I ever did anything that was like, well, anyway, here's a prayer for 9/11. That's not how apologies work.
And seeing these comments and things like that,
and I've still lost a lot of opportunities, a lot of collaborations. A lot of people won't even follow me or comment on a post because they don't want to be seen supporting somebody who did XYZ.
That's been your byline on your social media for the past few years, the last 5 years or so. So maybe instead of making a new podcast every year and a half to 2 years, maybe instead you can figure out what you actually did wrong, how to right those wrongs, and then if it seems like it's impossible to right those wrongs, you just move the on. Just move on. Trisha Paytas is not the reason you lost opportunities. Screaming into your iPhone and talking about babies dying on the street and talking about being the second coming of Christ and doing hundreds of unhinged TikToks throughout a course of a few days where people called wellness checks on you. I think it probably has more to do with that stuff. Because I think when people think of Gabbie Hanna, they don't really think about the situations with Trisha Paytas. At all. They think about you shrugging off, selling shitty brushes to people.
Manage your expectations a little bit.
They think about what looked like religious psychosis.
Guys, just in case you maybe a little believe me that I could actually be the second coming of Jesus Christ.
And a manic episode that was really scary for them to watch.
Help me!
They think about the way that you treated Rachel Oates.
What is it, you manipulative, narcissistic bitch?
And I really don't think, and I don't even know if we're going to get there on here or at any point, they don't even think about the Bianca Devins thing. And and I'm sure we'll get to that at some point, but we'll talk about that at another time. If they polled people, they polled 5 people and they were like, why do you feel like Gabbie Hanna's unlikable? I think the Jessie Smile situation would stand at number 1. Every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at this from the outside and I think to myself, how are you not the victim in this? When churches are even excluding you from doing certain.
And what's so sickening is the people listening who will just paint me as the monster no matter what, despite the fact that I'm actually the victim and tried screaming it.
Girl, we heard you. We just disagreed.
At the top of my lungs in 2020. Because I was just how does nobody see that what Trisha Paytas is doing to me and what she started and created is literally psychological abuse.
And that's the real problem. But
No, the real problem is all the other stuff that was also revolving around it. That was very transparent, where you were not the victim, you were the perpetrator. Let's say you were the victim start to finish in the Trisha Paytas thing. You were still the perpetrator in almost all the other things. I don't think people can not see where you're coming from or not call you the victim when you are, but your desperation to be the victim when you're the perpetrator happens more times than not.
the way is, that herd mentality.
Yeah.
The sheep that follow.
Right, so people are too stupid. They can't use their own brains and look at the situation objectively with the facts that they are presented with. Like when Gabbie Hanna got on that podcast with Trisha Paytas and said, I just thought we were close friends. And Trisha said, well, I didn't see it that way. Even if Trisha was lying, what Gabbie said was, I thought we were friends. I believe at one point she literally says, I thought we were friends.
But also the claims that she was making were so insane. Like she was literally saying, like she was making posts with the titles like, Gabbie Hanna, you're scaring me. I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're scary. Yeah. You're delusional. Scary. I'm afraid of you. So people literally, because it started off with Trisha, but then she went on to Frenemies, because Ethan Klein made a podcast and had her come co-host with him.
Can you imagine explaining this to your husband, who isn't like clearly not up on all this lore?
Yeah.
And then she just like brought it to this platform, and Ethan Klein was making it like almost a weekly topic. And I reached out to Ethan multiple times and I was like, this is not true. I can prove that all of this is not true. If you're going to platform these lies, allow me the opportunity to come on and defend myself. Like, you are spreading slander and misinformation on your platform and encouraging it. He completely ignored me. I would have destroyed you.
Okay, girl, whatever. What is the point of this? Is this to make you feel better? Is this to make the audience at large take your side in years old drama and beef? Or what? To get on H3 tomorrow so Ethan Klein can talk about you? Like, what is the end goal besides destroying you? I'm gonna destroy you.
In a lawsuit, by the way, Ethan Klein, and you're welcome. Because I was literally thinking about your wife and your children.
He's so fucking selfless. I can't even handle it. The charity in this woman is endless.
And I was thinking about the next 3 years of my life that would have been spent putting this together. Yeah. Because between him, Trisha, Jesse Smiles, Spill, Saj, Angelica Oles, Dustin Daly, The Viewer's Voice, Smoky Glow, Ready to Glare, like whoever else, like all these channels that like, see, I'm spiraling.
Yeah, girl. No shit. The funny thing is like, Gabbie has always talked about how much she does not watch commentary videos about her. The fact that Smoky Glow was on that list is really funny. I can't think of someone more level-headed and objective to talk about these things. Like, sometimes Hannah gets a little sassy with topics like Gabbie, but like overall, I don't know, whatever. Her real beef is with Angelica Oles, and it always will be.
I'm spiraling. What are we even talking about?
Yeah.
Literally, like, this is why I have to do this.
It's not. This is why you shouldn't be on the internet anymore. If you have to continue to bring this stuff up, if you have, like, that's what what is calling to you. I need to talk about this. For what? For whom? You're not even making yourself feel better. You're literally talking yourself into spiraling. Take it to therapy. Take it to your best friend who knows the ins and outs already. You don't have to explain anything. I don't understand why this needs to be a podcast. Because
it's just this psychological like rumination of like, there's so much ongoing trauma that it works me up to like this place, like in the middle of the day. Because like every like 3 hours, I'm directly impacted.
By what? Like, even if I knew nothing about this, right? Even if I knew nothing about this, the way that she has just described this, I found out this thing about this person. I warned this person's sexual partner that this person has a disease. Then I took it to Instagram, where people found out I was talking about her, which she conveniently left out. because it wasn't like Trisha was like, hey, this is me right away. Like, people figured it out, right? Then this person made all these crazy videos about me saying that I'm scary and they're scared of me and they're worried I'm going to kill them. At what point is that you're not communicating how that still sits with you? Because, yeah, that's a fucking weird thing to do. Also a very Trisha Paytas thing to do. Not to take Trisha's side on it, but, like, again, that was the nature of her content. She declared herself a chicken nugget. You know, she's taken on all these identities, all the things that have made her problematic. Then there's a laundry list, right? Like, it would be all day. We'd be here all day. Were you expecting better? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
By this thing that Trisha Paytas put on me, that I'm a narcissistic, manipulative, psychotic, dangerous stalker that has just morphed into so many things over the years that now I'm just a meme. That you can literally make a post about me being psychotic or make fun of me for the mental breakdown that came from years of being called psychotic.
I don't think that's how mental breakdowns happen, babe. From poor mental health or untreated mental illness or personality disorders or what have you, right? At the time, there have been many phases of all of this. You know, there was a lot of smoking weed going on. There was a lot of, I believe she had just recently had been diagnosed with ADHD, and I don't remember if she was taking medication for it. I think so, if I remember correctly. But to link that all to Trisha Paytas and put that all on Trisha Paytas while she was actively seeking out Rachel Oates, and that's the one I will ride home until the day I die, because the fact that there was like a 12-panel fucking tirade against Rachel Oates where she called her a bitch no less than 15 times.
What is it, you manipulative narcissistic bitch? You fucking weird ass bitch. You're a manipulative bitch and I'm done dealing with it. You fucking sick, twisted bitch.
You know, by proxy, sent all of her fans to Rachel Oates for simply making a book critique, which, by the way, was one of the most thoughtful, snarky, but thoughtful book critiques, which is something that she does on her channel anyway. It's not like she took a special day to say, today's Fuck with Gabbie Hanna Day. She does literary analysis. She does poetry analysis. Like, that is her channel. That is her niche. And the fact that Gabbie spent the longest, and even still only like, what, 3 years ago when she was speaking at Oxford Union, she referenced Rachel again and called her a loser. To play the perpetual victim and to put that all on Trisha Paytas while she herself was out here being absolutely toxic and abusive to other people is fucking, it's not mind-blowing. I was gonna say it was mind-blowing, but it's not. It's just Gabbie Hanna.
When I was not, literally being gaslighted to such an extreme degree that I literally almost killed myself like multiple times because I truly thought that I had to be insane.
Right. No one is responsible for your mental health except for you. Unless Trisha Paytas was calling her up every day and telling her to kill herself. Which hasn't come out of Gabbie's mouth yet. This is the same old song and dance, and I did not bring my tap shoes today.
To be experiencing such a different reality than everybody else. Like, I went to doctor after doctor after doctor trying to get somebody to diagnose me with schizophrenia, psychosis, mania, like literally anything that I could fix whatever was going on. Like, I was actually gaslighted and psychologically abused to the point of questioning my own reality, my own sanity, my own ability to reason. Like,
I always have such a hard time making harsh critiques when people are crying because I have such a history of covering Gabbie's bullshit that it's hard for me to sit here and go like, oh, you know, obviously when someone's having a hard time, you don't want to like kick them when they're down, right? And I do believe that Gabbie suffers, her mental health suffers in some way. She has multiple diagnoses. It is what it is, whatever. If I'm not mistaken, the issue with Trisha and Gabbie was wrapped up in 2020. Gabbie was off the for lack of a better phrase, off the deep end, manic psychosis, whatever the fuck you want to call it, having some kind of episode, posting hundreds of TikToks, clearly in an alternate sort of state of reality in 2022, 2021, 2022. I think the last time she did was 2023. You want me to believe that this Trisha Paytas stuff caused you so much trauma, that alone caused you so much trauma. I'm not saying that Trisha Paytas is innocent in this. I'm not saying that, Trisha Paytas did nothing wrong, like blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They're both problematic people. But to pin your entire sort of mental breakdown on Trisha Paytas that happened long after you two had stopped having contact is wild. That is wild. Especially given the way that you treated other people. People like Oscar Wilde, who reached out to you to just offer a listening ear, and you called him performative, and then made screaming videos in your car.
Right? I started drama. I just want attention. Ah!
The way, again, that you spoke to Rachel Oates.
You fucking sick, twisted bitch.
Screaming about Angelica Oles and what she did to the Devins family, and Angelica saying that she reached out to the Devins family and they had no idea who the fuck she was.
What year is it?
I don't deny that Gabbie Hanna's got some mental health issues, clearly. I don't think that they all stem from her interactions with Trisha Paytas.
And I tried to say it, but nobody cared. So anyways, I asked ChatGPT, tell me about psychological abuse. I literally was crying reading this out loud earlier because just reading how it was so exactly what I was experiencing, was just hitting me so deep. To really, for the first time, this week, coming to grips with that, word of, this is psychological abuse, and, the embarrassment of being, I'm a victim of psychological abuse.
Oh my God, how about the embarrassment of needing to have some sort of, clinical form of abuse in order to feel hey, that interaction we had, I didn't care for that.
So psychological abuse, also called emotional or mental abuse, is a pattern of behavior meant to control, intimidate, destabilize, or diminish another person.
Oh, you mean
you fucking sick, twisted bitch.
Without necessarily using physical violence. Okay. It attacks your sense of self, and often it's invisible from the outside. What it actually is. Psychological abuse is not just someone being rude, stressed, or imperfect. It's patterned behavior that undermines your confidence, distorts your perception of reality, controls your choices, makes you feel afraid, small, or dependent. The damage is internal to your mind, identity, and nervous system. So I'm just going to address kind of section by section. All of my choices have been made around this. You know what I mean? Everything I say or do, I have to think about the way people are going to react.
That's the nature of your job. I don't think that's the nature of having briefly known Trisha Paytas.
Because no matter what I do, I can be talking about my hair color. I can be talking about my faith. I can be talking about literally anything. And it's crazy. I could be dancing, manic psychosis, crazy. Guys, I've seen this before. Go open my comment section right now.
Girl, that's because we can also follow patterns. Like I said before, these are patterns. When Gabbie resurfaces online, lately it's been religion, faith. Not a single post goes by without a Bible verse or some sort of reference to God, which again, not a problem, just noticing it, okay? And the thing is that she can't deny that most of the stuff in her past, in her past log of TikToks, all those tirades, those were concerning. And then when you just go away and you don't actually really talk about what you experienced, how is the audience at large to know that things are better? Or what you experienced? Or how it affected you? Or what manifested as? Or how you were treated or how you treated that or anything. You just had these like manic psychotic episodes, disappeared, and then came back and started talking about God. So like right away that looks weird and it feels weird to the audience. So the things that you know that have happened in your life, the audience is not aware of. The audience at large has no fucking idea. So it's not like, oh, nurse, she's out again, which I know that those people exist in her comment section. But in general, it is literally like, wow, we were just watching you scream that you wish you could sleep. And then all of a sudden, here we are, and you're talking about God. That feels like a weird transition. We've seen the dancing. The dancing used to lead to the unhinged posting. It was part of the unhinged posting.
And it wasn't even like that a few days ago. Like, it was like everything was positive and good, and then there's just all these viral posts. She's psychotic again. She's experiencing psychosis.
You are offering literal like life and career advice to people who are more successful than you. I don't know how to help Gabbie Hanna, and that's not my job to, and I guess I'm not even really trying to, but like, I think the thing that's frustrating is like, she doesn't even see that it looks weird, or like that it looks not, I don't know, sound mind, to put it nicely.
Now that's all my comment section.
It was kind of like you were reaching out to a new fan base. You were kind of starting to get there. And then all of a sudden, like you said earlier, some viral posts started happening and some people started coming out of the woodwork.
Right. Well, the thing is that when you start making post after post after post after post after post, and they start coming in more frequently, and they're, you know, I don't know, again, offering advice to Taylor Swift or talking about how it's not weird when people get canceled that they end up finding God or whatever. When you just keep posting like that, people recognize the patterns. And I suppose we're going to get a chapter on commentary and drama channels, so yippee.
Yeah.
I would call it.
And then this makes you feel afraid, smaller, dependent. Like, literally, I've been so afraid. If you would have seen the number of just like I did that Jubilee thing, and the idea of like Trisha Paytas or any of these people being there literally had me like shaking like this because they've harmed me so deeply.
Yeah.
And when I realized I'm afraid to say these people's names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's literally like Voldemort, like he who should not be named. Like, people can't say it around me and I can't say it around them because it actually is so traumatic. Like, she has genuinely traumatized me.
Okay, but like, could we get a more explicit example? Because like saying like, because listen, as a listener, I'm open to hearing your side, right? You know, I may not have the greatest faith in Gabbie Hanna. I may not like Gabbie Hanna very much. I don't trust Gabbie Hanna worth a damn. But like, I'm always willing to like hear it out. Like, if you can give me specific instances of like why her making videos when that was like her whole thing, was making like unhinged, clickbaity, you know, extreme title sort of things, you know, yelling on the kitchen floor or whatever, crying on the kitchen floor, why that was personally traumatic to you. Outside of just like, I guess I can try to empathize in the way of like, yeah, somebody with millions of followers, doing that to somebody with millions of followers. I don't know, man. I'm just struggling to see the trauma, I guess.
Right. Right.
You know, it's so, and she's like, she, in fact, you know what's so crazy? She actually had a video or like was saying at some point that I traumatized her and that I was traumatizing her while she was actively, intentionally traumatizing me. Isn't that insane?
I really do think they were, that my theory, just still my theory, I think they were intentionally traumatizing each other. I think that era of Trisha, and maybe this era, I don't know Trisha Paytas personally. She seems a lot more chill and put together now, but who knows? I don't follow her that closely. But certainly that era of Trisha Paytas and any era of Gabbie Hanna, they are very alike. They're a lot more alike than they probably even realize.
Does Trisha Paytas seems traumatized to you, or does she like go on to like do everything she ever wanted and like post freely? And this is just a side note.
You're jealous? It's almost like she, again, not trying to ride for Trisha Paytas here. And I don't know much about, I don't know all the intricacies, but it seems to me like Trisha Paytas got herself on the right meds and stopped doing a bunch of drugs and settled down and had some kids. She's coming out on top, and whether or not she deserves it, that's not up to me. Begrudging someone for having like my candle's breaking. It has a mouth. Begrudging someone for moving on, being happy because you're not, because you've held on to something that happened between you guys, is weird to me, I guess. I don't know. I could see if she like kept showing up at her house, or she was actually like properly stalking her. Like, yeah, sure, that would make a lot of sense, but I don't know.
Trisha Paytas was actually low-key like dunzo. Nobody cared about her after Frenemies ended. And then Colleen got canceled. And then she made this video where Trisha was like the victim in the situation because Colleen was a mean girl and was like sending her nudes around, which is weirdo behavior, don't get me wrong.
No, that's called illegal behavior actually, but sure.
But like all of a sudden, because Trisha was this like key figure that was able to talk negatively about Colleen, literally it changed her whole career around overnight. And you know what? I could have done the same. How many people reached out to me about, can you please talk about David Dobrik? Can you please talk about the Vlog Squad? I still get it to this day. And especially whenever there was like this footage going around of them calling me fat, calling me ugly.
And what was
like,
the other one too? Where people, what was that?
Everyone, when Shane was canceled, everybody wanted me to talk. Oh, Cody Co, everybody wanted me to talk. Like, I've had so many opportunities to like spill the tea on all of these creators, but it's just not in my character to do so.
Bitch, please. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Right.
And the fact that they've made me out to be like drama obsessed, money hungry, stirs up controversy.
Hi, welcome to the first episode of this podcast titled Why Trisha Paytas Tried to Ruin My Life. Anything else?
Every time she wants to promote her music. If I was trying to like be, controvert, I would have made a drama channel. I would have made a drama podcast. I remember my manager at the time being like, well, why don't you just make your own drama podcast? You have all of the information, like this insider information. And I said, because that's gross.
Yeah.
It's literally gross. Why would I exploit somebody for entertainment and content?
I don't know. Why would you put up the 3-hour call between you and Jesse Smiles? I had to blow out the candles before it melted my house.
And it made me sick too, just from like the public perspective of like all of these people for literally years. We hate you. You're demonic. You're manipulative. You're a narcissist.
I don't think anyone called you demonic. I think Gabbie takes whatever current thing she's into and then applies it to things that happened in the past. I don't think anyone called her demonic.
You're a psycho. And then as soon as it was like, wait a minute, David Dobrik called you ugly? Speak about it, queen. We're here to support you.
Yeah. It's...
How about the person who's literally actively ruining my life? That I'm literally telling you on a podcast, I am the victim. And you're like, talk about how you're a victim of David Dobrik and Zayn and Heath. Anyway, let me go back to this.
Yeah.
That's what we were doing.
And people could have changed their tone on you really quick because that's just how the internet is.
Or, and hear me out, life is nuanced. You can disagree with David Dobrik having called Gabbie Hanna fat repeatedly in content and also not agree with every single thing that she says otherwise. Like, everything has to be so black and white, A and B, whatever. Like, there's nuance in life. There is nuance in these conversations, and there should be. Because sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. Again, I'm not saying she's entirely wrong in the whole Trisha Paytas thing, but like chalking everything that's ever happened or anything that anyone ever wanted her to speak on, or because anytime anyone has ever offered any sort of empathy about things like that, because I made a video then, I believe it was called In Defense of Gabbie Hanna, about that specific content. Or, like I said, I referenced earlier, Oscar Wilde reached out and just literally offered like, hey, if you need anything, you need a listening ear, I got you. And she just He publicly mocked him and called him performative. Anytime anyone is actually empathetic to Gabbie, she doesn't either trust it or care. At least that's what we've seen. So you can't win. Either you're abusive to her, traumatizing her, or your empathy or understanding is performative or just doesn't meet her standards.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Some of these people we've mentioned are right back to making videos the same way they always had, as bad as their cancellations were.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, the only person that can cancel you is you. Like, that's why people like Trisha Paytas. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason she can still have a career.
Sure. I mean, I don't disagree with that inherently. I do also think that regardless of what may happen behind the scenes or like in things that I'm not aware of, you know, outwardly, Trisha Paytas specifically made changes to her life. You know what I mean? Like, not abusing substances, and like she stopped doing sex work, which, like, no shade to people who do sex work whatsoever, but like, you know, I think she just kind of like, I don't know, healed in some ways. So, I mean, you could try that.
Common forms of psychological abuse. Gaslighting. Making you doubt your memory or sanity. That never happened. You're crazy. You're imagining things. Over time, you start trusting them more than yourself. So, like, when Trisha was saying, like, we never were friends, we never had conversations, like, I don't even know you.
Didn't you just say this, though? This is my thing. Like, this was her point originally in the podcast. And Gabbie talks in circles, and I don't know if she does it on purpose or if she knows she does it or what, but, like, she makes it really hard to get to the finer point, which is probably why this video is going to be 900 hours long. That was my whole thing. I went back and watched my video on the podcast. And in it, my whole thing was like, every time Trisha said that she didn't remember something, Gabbie called that gaslighting. Do I know for sure whether or not Trisha Paytas remembers the things that Gabbie Hanna says happened? No, of course not. Is there a possibility that Trisha Paytas absolutely remembers the things that Gabbie Hanna says happened and is just being an asshole and gaslighting her? Sure, why not? And I use is loosely because this was years ago now, and now has been uploaded with very little context on Gabbie's channel. But in general, people not remembering things is not gaslighting. Every single thing anybody did in the era of 2019 to 2020 was gaslighting. I think Gabbie used the word gaslighting more than any other person on the planet, including people who work in mental health fields.
Like, I literally was so confused, like, looking through those phones, like, when I finally had to break down and, like, be like, I have to go back and prove. And then, like, looking to, like, I didn't even remember our friendship being as extensive as it was. I didn't even remember our conversations going as deep or as long as they were. Like, I was actually shocked when I was, like, looking through our texts and seeing her say words like, our friendship means so much to me. Like, I don't know what I would do if I would lost you, basically. And all of these are readily available. I posted, no, wait, I have another sidetrack. See, I just have to get it all out because I invited Trisha to my house one-on-one to have a podcast where we could actually talk about this, extend an olive branch. So then,
And when was that? When was the
I think that
podcast?
might have been 2021.
Okay.
So this was like after she's been calling me psycho online for like a minute now.
Yeah.
So then I invited her over. Oh, because it was during David's cancellation. Because I think when I asked her to come, I think she thought she was coming over to talk about David's cancellation because Ethan Klein also reached out to me. Ethan Klein ignored all my messages saying, please stop spreading the slander. I can prove that what she's saying is a lie. Let me defend myself on your platform. Ignored all of that. Followed me back and DM'd me whenever David was getting canceled.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? Okay, whatever. You win the Victim Olympics.
There you go.
Isn't that interesting? Anyways, wait, what was I talking about before I started talking about Ethan?
Trisha coming over for the podcast.
Oh, so Trisha comes over for the podcast. We're talking. And then she literally says to me on the podcast, oh, like, I never even really looked at you as a real person. I looked at you as just like a character on the internet. So it didn't matter what I said. Go watch the podcast. I deleted it, but it's out there. She literally said, I made up whatever I wanted to say about you because you weren't a real person to me. You were just a character on the internet. So then I'm asking her, like, but why did you tell people we didn't know each other and stuff like that? She's like, because we didn't, like, just playing dumb. And then I literally am like, Trisha, we have these texts like that. She's like, no, I don't think that's true. So then on the actual video, I'm putting all of the messages of like that I'm talking about. But then hey guys, I'm a good person.
Okay. Real quick though, I just kind of fact checked the cancellation of David Dobrik, which looks like the earliest report of that was in April of 2021. My video on Gabbie and Trisha's podcast was in February of 2021, so I don't think that was amid David's cancellation. So I'm not saying it's untrue that Ethan Klein didn't get back to Gabbie Hanna until David Dobrik was canceled, but the timeline doesn't 100% match up there. Just FYI. Anyway, you're a good person, got it. So kind, all that.
Because I literally didn't even include it in the podcast. And I told her, I'm not going to include any of this because it wasn't about that for me. I wanted us to talk face to face. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not trying to prove you wrong.
Then why are you doing it on camera? That's my question. Because it's not like you got her, you know, whether Trisha was being obtuse or legitimately didn't remember their friendship is irrelevant. You wanted her there to prove a point and then didn't prove the point, really. You know, you both kind of came out looking dumb. And for what? Who was that for? Who did that make feel better? Obviously wasn't you, since you're carrying that trauma so deeply.
I just wanted us to be cool. So then she goes home, she makes her own podcast or like vlog or something. It was a vlog, just being like, hey, it's like I went over to Gabbie's and like we filmed a podcast and it was cool. Like, I'm glad we can put it behind us or something. And then within like a day or two, she's making these posts being like, I don't even want her to put this out because she like was trying to manipulate me and da-da-da-da-da. And she like reached out to BuzzFeed at one point and they sent me the thing where she was like saying, don't bring up my name in the interview because she's trying to gaslight me and manipulate me into believing that we had a friendship that we didn't have. I never knew her. Just weird. Like she started going down the same thing again. Yeah. So then I put out the podcast showing all of the screenshots of all of the text messages, but it didn't matter. She was just like back on her rampage of I'm psycho again. Like there's, with her and all these other people, there's no appeasing them.
I don't think it's about appeasement though. Like the audience, regardless if they're just a casual viewer or a commentary channel or a drama channel or tea channel, whatever the fuck, we weren't there, right? I remember, I'm not going to go back and watch this full thing unless you actually want me to. I will, but like, I'm going to need a minute. The thing I remember taking away from it the most was like, I have no way of knowing whether or not Trisha Paytas actually doesn't remember things or if she's just fucking with Gabbie Hanna. And if she actually doesn't remember things, Gabbie trying to insist that these things happened, okay, but for what? At the end of the day, for what? For what? Like, who does this serve? And also, like, a lot of it felt like, to me, personally, the way I would read the text from Trisha or, like, the tweets from Trisha, like, there was one that was like, every time me and the Gabbie show are together, we never get selfies, and it makes me extremely depressed with, like, 1,000 exclamation points from, like, 2017. And, like, when I read a text, like, I'm not trying to be, like, anti-Gabbie about this. Like, it's not about that for me. When I read something like that, to me, even when she says, like, oh, our friendship means so much to me, I genuinely, from Trisha Paytas' mouth, I really read that as, like, that's how Trisha shares pleasantries. Like, that's how I perceived it. And I could be way off base. I don't know. I don't know Trisha Paytas. I am familiar with her content. I miss Trish Talks. That was the era of Trish that I knew the best and laughed at continuously. But I'm not a ride or die for Trisha Paytas. And I'm not trying to take her side over Gabbie's. But, like, that was my impression of it when I first watched this interview. If you want to watch this interview to kind of give more context and feeling to that, that's fine. Like I said, my opinions on it have kind of evolved over time, and I do see a little bit more of like where Gabbie was coming from. But like, again, there's really no way, like even with the text, like it doesn't feel like the audience at large should or could even have a sound opinion about their relationship. So who are we proving this to, and what for?
Like, there is no end goal of how can we make this right, because they don't want to make it right. They literally just hate me. They're jealous. They're envious. They want to hurt me.
Like, who are the other people though? Because like, I'm not jealous of you as a commentary channel. I'm good, personally. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm good.
Like, they have wickedness and hate in their heart toward me. That's all there is to it.
Well, and the extra drama makes for a lot of extra views that wouldn't have otherwise been had. A lot of times if you're at the top, like this wasn't the case for you. Like when you were at the top, you were like, guys, there's views, there's money in this for everybody.
Right. Definitely. Gabbie's motto sure always was, there's room for everybody.
Manage your expectations a little bit.
Also, when was Gabbie at the top? She was like upper, somewhere between the middle and the top, you know, like the shoulder.
Come and get yours, but like a lot of people want to be at the top and want to be the only person.
Well, and it's also, and like, listen, right? I'm not even trying to be like a hater, but like, she's just an envious person in general. She models herself after people, and like, I was a very quick growing YouTuber. I was getting a lot of opportunities, like, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's not wrong in the sense that like, yes, Trisha Paytas would grift from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, because Trisha Paytas wanted to be famous. That's what Trisha Paytas wanted. But we're speaking about 2019 to 2021 Trisha, as if Trisha is that Trisha in 2026, which there may be some remnants there. Again, every time I talk about, the reason I'm prefacing this so much is anytime I talk about Trisha Paytas and I say something that isn't like, Trisha Paytas is still the same horrible person, there's somebody in my comments going, Trisha Paytas is still the same horrible person. Why are you defending her? Like, I'm just speaking, okay? But for real though, like, talking about Trisha and her behaviors that happened in, you know, over 5 years ago, as if they're still happening now, is disingenuous at best.
Okay, so anyways, that's the first gaslighting. That never happened. You're crazy. You're imagining things. Number 2, constant criticism or contempt. Not constructive feedback, but mocking, belittling, eye-rolling, sarcasm, and public humiliation. That chips away at your confidence. So not only her, but all the drama channels and everybody else who joined in on this.
That feels like a sweeping generalization, but go on.
I did not see a single ounce of constructive feedback at any point.
Oh, I thought you didn't watch commentary videos. I mean, I've seen a lot of constructive criticism of Gabbie Hanna over the years. And also, criticism does not have to be constructive. It just doesn't. Criticism can stand alone without being constructive. So, sorry.
And that's art, baby! It was all mocking, all belittling, all horrifying thumbnails where you're warping my face into disgusting shapes, all titles saying I'm a psycho, narcissistic, manipulative monster.
Okay, this is one of those things that Gabbie Hanna does that really annoys me, and it's a pattern that flags in my brain. When Gabbie uses the word absolutely when she's talking, when she's relaying a conversation that was had, and the thing that she's saying is, oh, I absolutely did not. You absolutely did this. Whenever she uses the word absolutely, which I know she didn't do, but I'm going to get to the other thing. But whenever she uses the word absolutely, that is an exaggerated story. Especially because there was one instance where I personally knew the person that Gabbie was talking to, and I know that she falsified the information, not falsified, but exaggerated severely the information that she was sharing with her audience. I saw it with my own eyes. So be wary of when Gabbie uses the word absolutely. 2, she does this a lot, where she uses the language she uses to describe people, right? When she was going off on Rachel Oates, every single time she would try to denigrate her, she would say things like, you are a manipulative, narcissistic bitch. She would use all these words that she claims were being used on her, but she repeatedly uses them. So I'm more inclined to believe that people didn't really call her these things as often as she's saying, because those are her descriptors. She was the one throwing around narcissistic abuse as a term repeatedly. I was very much around during this time, and I feel like the only person using those words specifically was Gabbie Hanna.
Literally. And obviously the public humiliation aspect of this, like nothing about this was constructive. And when I invited her into my home to have a constructive conversation,
Anyone know if the unlisted video link is below?
it didn't turn into anything positive. And this is just, by the way, Trisha's not the only person. She's just where we're starting here.
Well, and yeah, you could definitely, in my opinion, like Trisha might be where the problem starts, but like all of the channels that picked up on it right away, all the other names that you mentioned are in my opinion, a bigger problem.
Right. They act like they're different than Perez Hilton.
You know, I think that depends on who you're looking at. Because I've also called out Perez Hilton in the same breath as calling out Gabbie Hanna. Same video. I think that depends on who you're watching. If you are clicking on, which by the way, it's my understanding that Gabbie does not watch videos about her. If you're clicking on sensationalized thumbnails and clickbait titles, yeah, what the fuck are you expecting to get? But there are many thoughtful commentary channels who have spoken about Gabbie Hanna in a fairly objective and level-headed way, myself included. I have been a snarky, sarcastic bitch to Gabbie on several occasions. I will not deny that. I have no problem criticizing Gabbie Hanna without the constructive aspect. But am I setting her up for public ridicule? No, I don't think so. Again, for me, I pulled out of commentary when I felt like I was getting too mean and I was becoming too much and I was just repeatedly badgering a person with the same points over and over again in a short amount of time, for sure. But I don't think all channels are so sensationalized. I don't think all channels are so close to being like Perez Hilton or even that we think that we're better. Like, a lot of commentary is just observational. And again, it's not required that you're on the internet.
Who exploited Britney Spears. They act like they're different than the tabloids who exploit people all the time. They act like they're better than any of like the smut and gossip that goes along. Like they're horrible. And like,
who's they though? Like, is this still the same list as before? Because if that's true, then people like Smokey Glow don't belong on the list, right? Like, I don't think Angelica Oles belongs on the list. And I know that Angelica is like her number one op in the commentary community. It's been a long time, and I think it's just time to reckon with the fact that commentary and drama channels exist. So what? You don't have to listen to them. If you think you're above their criticism, then you don't have to listen to them. Whatever.
like, as people, and I mean this sincerely, I don't hate any of you. I have to forgive all of you all the time, literally, and it's hard, but I don't hate you.
I don't care if you do hate us. I mean, I wasn't named on the list, and that's fine. I'm a smaller channel, totally fine. I wouldn't give a shit if Gabbie Hanna did hate me. Good. Whatever. You've made some shitty choices. There have been times when I have been legitimately concerned about you. But I don't give a shit if you hate us or not. I don't need your forgiveness. I'm not sorry. I've said, maybe I've said some things a little bit out of line here and there. Sure. But for the most part, until I've seen something that alters my, given new information, changes my mind a bit, like I said, looking back on the podcast with her and Trisha Paytas, I have no problem saying that I actually kind of feel like I gravitate more towards Gabbie's point. Like, I understand where she's coming from. I have no problem saying that because I'm an adult who can have nuanced conversations. I don't know. Like, no, I don't think any of us are like out seeking your forgiveness, and you don't need to give it. Don't stop wasting your energy. This feels like such a waste of your energy. This feels like such a time suck. Is this what your first, like, you're in your first year of marriage? Like, go enjoy your life. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I just want you to be better. I want you to take accountability for your actions and change the same way you guys called me for years to take accountability of my actions and change.
Okay, well, when you do, let us know, and maybe we can make an arrangement.
Because you are actually the thing that you kept accusing me of, using me for money and clicks, exploiting me, harassing me, stalking me. It's demented. Like,
Okay, so is your beef with Trisha Paytas, or is your beef with commentary channels? Because most commentary channels, outside of, let's say for fairness sake, outside of title and thumbnail, most commentary channels, most drama channels, relay the information given, and some of them give their opinions. That's all.
this is actually stalking. This is actually harassing. This is actually scary.
You are actually posting on a public platform. You actually have millions of followers. Actually, you are a public figure. Actually, if you would not like to continue to expose yourself to scrutiny of any kind, you actually probably should just get offline and actually stop giving free, unwarranted advice to strangers who don't want or need it. Okay?
This is actually mentally unhinged to be so focused on a human being and to look at them as like, I can make money off this person. I can write my best content. Like Angelica Oles literally built her channel on me. The majority of her videos, hold on, I just want to name the list.
Okay.
Trisha Paytas, Ethan Klein, Jesse Smiles, Jen Dent, Lily Marston, Megan Ranks, Kathleen Lights, Angelica Oles, Alicia Page, Ready to Glare, Dustin Daly, Nick from The Viewer's Voice, Smokey Glow, Adam McIntyre, Spill Sesh, and T Spill, and whoever else I'm not naming. Tea Cup, Tea Red, like all these freaking tea, like tea. It's just like the word for
the tea.
tabloid. Literally, it's just another word for tabloid in the internet culture realm.
That's a whole hell of a list there, sweet cakes. Have you thought of like just like genuinely, this is a snarky tone, but genuine question. Therapy? Like, does this make you feel better? Is this making you feel better?
Anyway, control and isolation is number 3. Monitoring who you talk to, controlling finances, dictating what you wear, isolating you from friends and family, making you feel guilty for independence. It reduces your world. Monitoring who you talk to. Literally, anybody I spoke to, tweeted at, or received a tweet from was literally sent the most horrible harassment. Whether it was like an artist that I reached out to on Twitter or tweeted at me, people would tweet at that person and be like, don't talk to her. She's a rape apologist. She abandoned her best friend for her rapist. She's psycho. She's stalking Trisha Paytas. Wait, it's actually so much worse than that. Literally, if you were just following me, if somebody was following me, they would get like spammed. If they commented on a video, they would just get spammed. Don't you know this person is evil? If you keep following them, you're going to get canceled too. How can you support this person? Like literally, I could not make a new friend. I could not have any type of public interaction without this harassment and abuse, this isolation and control following me.
I believe that. That was a very, very insularly volatile time on the internet. And I don't know if at this point we're still talking about Trisha Paytas or if we're still talking about drama channels.
And it seemed
I couldn't have a brand deal because brand deals or brands would get harassed for affiliating with me.
Maybe you should have managed your expectations a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Well, not to jump ahead here, but it seemed like other creators got the green light to jump in on the harassment train after the start happened, which was Trisha.
Right.
So.
No. Because again, it was in April of 2021 when Gabbie was, according to AI, bullying Rachel Oates. So, I mean, and the podcast was, what did I say, February-ish of 2021. So, I mean, blaming Trisha Paytas for all that is pretty wild.
Controlling finances. Literally, drama channels specifically like Smokey Glow. I remember I could have wrecked her in a lawsuit. I remember the lawyers being like, she's done. She's cooked. Because she said specifically, stop watching her videos, stop supporting her, da 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 da. She said, show her with your wallet. And that's one of the things for defamation. If you intentionally attack somebody's finances, and if you had other information and refused to show it. So that's why all of the drama channels, Trisha Paytas, Jessie Smiles, everybody, they would have been wrecked in a lawsuit. They had access to the truth and chose to ignore it. I put it out there. I sent it to them privately in DMs, and the people who believed me told me they wouldn't stand up for me for XYZ, but that's the next thing that we're getting into.
Why did you go ahead and fucking wreck them in a lawsuit then? Is it your kindness? Like, I don't understand. If you had a clear-cut defamation case, then why didn't you just fucking do it? Now listen, I've always come with only opinions and with receipts if I have facts to share, but Why didn't you then? Why didn't you sue Hannah from Smoky Glow? Why didn't you sue her then? If it was just a done deal, your lawyer said it's a done deal and you're not going to sue her? And I have a girlfriend, but she lives in Canada, so you wouldn't know her.
Isolating you from friends and family. All of my friends, like the closest people to me, ended up having to walk away from the situation because it was too dark. Like literally, and I can't blame them. It was like extremely painful to lose people who you thought would be there, but they didn't actually love me unconditionally. You know what I mean? Like that's one, but then it's also just like, you can't blame somebody for looking out for themselves in a situation like this. You know, you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, especially like if you're talking about like kind of a more like localized friends and family that maybe wanted nothing to do with internet culture in the first place, then
Yeah,
there you go.
Can you grab that wine?
Sure.
I thought Gabbie was sober. Was that just weed, maybe?
Sure. Robbie was making a really good point in our small intermission where he was saying, you know, ultimately we want to be mindful to the fact that a lot of these people are in different places. A lot of them aren't, but like we are.
I think everyone is.
I don't think like Angelica Oles and like the Viewer's Voice and like Spill Sesh are. I think they're very much stuck in their weird, toxic, like power hungry, like
they've moved on.
Behavior.
It's demented behavior to commentate on other people's behavior. I don't think it's demented. It's just something that's always existed. It's just like internet pop culture gossip. Like if you're letting it ruin your life, then there's got to be something else there underlying that needs resolution, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, how are you can't blame everyone else for your problems. Like, you just can't. I mean, you can, I guess, but like, that's not the answer. These people, even if they were unfair to you, even if they were unkind to you, they are not your undoing. Gabbie is not the perfect angel of the internet, and like everyone else is a huge asshole. Like, I'm not saying that she hasn't been wronged before, but like this is exhausting.
They've moved on to whatever drama is popular at this time.
Yeah, but it's always me though. Like if there's nothing new going on, they'll rehash something old. Yeah. Or like the story is that I haven't posted in a while. Or like I want to start doing classes at the YMCA. Now that's the story. It's just like honestly, it's pathetic.
Honestly, the thing is what this tells me, what she just said tells me that she's really not listening to what any of these people said. Because when it came out that Gabbie was doing like instruction at the YMCA, like dance classes or whatever, everybody, the consensus was like, that's really cool. I'm really happy she's gotten offline, she's taking care of herself, and she's found a new path. Like, that was the consensus. Much like when she apologized about the Bianca Devins situation, the consensus was like, good apology. But like, you can never give Gabbie positive feedback because she will never receive it. Every time I have seen someone give her positive feedback, and she's actually like been on the receiving end of it. Not like I've said something positive and it's just here on my channel, but like that she's actually heard. She's rejected it because she doesn't, I don't know why. She's just got this built-in aggression, as if nuance isn't a thing. It's weird. And it shows that she's not even listening. She's seeing thumbnails and shit. And for the record, like, I was planning on making a gabbie series, not because I needed to talk about gabbie hanna for my life to feel fulfilled, but because the root of it was I was actually curious to see if I felt the same way about the things that she was embroiled in then as I would now, to see if my perspective had changed. And now I don't feel like making anything because this has just been sufficiently exhausting.
I know we're trying to
that.
be like, we have to be loving, but like there's also a truth here, and it is pathetic. Like if you're somebody who's just like Googling me all the time and like trying to make a viral story about trying to humiliate me.
Literally no one. Show it to me. I mean, I don't follow all the tea channels, but like, who is doing that? And I thought we were here to talk about Trisha Paytas.
But yeah, anyways, what was I saying even?
I feel like we were about to go into the point about just regrounding ourselves in the fact that everybody that we're talking about here is at a different point in their lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, getting a little sidetracked. Yeah, and I also do want to like congratulate Trisha specifically on like success, a family. I'm talking about kids. I'm talking about like finding peace and stability. Like I genuinely want that for you, Trisha. I want that for everybody. Like I said earlier, maybe a little more emotionally. I don't hate anybody. Yeah. And I've also forgiven everybody, and I have to forgive over and over again.
Yeah, great. Good for you. Also, you need to be sorry though, too. Like, that's wonderful that you think you're in the position to forgive other people without actually having a conversation about remorse or accountability or anything. Because that comes from that righteousness of like religion and, oh, I have God's love and blah, blah, blah. Fine, whatever. If you feel like you need to forgive other people who are maybe not sorry or maybe stand by the things they said and did, fine, whatever. That's your cross to bear, so to speak. But like, that doesn't absolve you of the things that you have done to people. You know, even take everything else out of it. Let's say, you know, you were absolutely done wrong by Trisha Paytas. Let's say you were absolutely done wrong by Trisha Paytas. There's no margin for error. There's no gray areas. Trisha Paytas was terrible to you. She gaslit you. She treated you like shit. She stalked you. All of these things are true. 100%. Okay? We'll just say that all of that is true. There is no gray area. All the other things that happened are not because of Trisha Paytas. That scenario might have informed the way you receive information, the way you receive criticism, your wariness around people you don't know very well. Might trigger your OCD intrusive thoughts. Sure. Absolutely. 100%. But your interactions with Trisha Paytas are not the reason why you attacked Rachel Oates or Oscar Wilde. They're not the reason why the whole saga with Jussie Smiles continues. Or why you hate drama channels so much. That's not why. It can inform your reactions, it can inform your feelings, for sure. But you can still be in the wrong in other areas where you have no right to forgive before you are asking for forgiveness. And that's just my 2 cents.
We really can't. Like, we're called by God to like love thy neighbor. It doesn't mean you have to be friends with everybody, but you can't hate anyone.
You
like,
can't.
Hate should not be in your heart.
Yeah, well, I hate a lot of people, Robbie, so that's not true. Just like 1 or 2.
And it's not, it's not something that's in our heart.
And everybody is redeemable as well.
Right.
Like, I don't
agree.
When I think about like some of these people, right? Just like these girls who are just like so hateful and envious and like literally went to such extents to like ruin my life.
Stop calling people envious. That is the weakest answer to why people are mean to you or whatever. It's not jealousy. Nobody's jealous. Nobody's jealous. Nobody's jealous. That's the response for high school. We're not there anymore. I'm old as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It kills me. It hurts me. It makes me angry. It makes me sad. It makes me like ruminate. But I also am like, I want them to go to heaven. And I mean that sincerely with my whole heart.
I want to go to hell, so leave me out of it. I'll be burning in the pits of hell. It'll be me and Paul Lind and Betty White.
Yeah.
And I know that not everybody believes in heaven, not everybody believes in hell, not everybody believes in God, right? But I'm telling you that as a person who genuinely believes it is the truth. There is a heaven, there is hell. This earth is a very limited time. Our soul continues on after this, and our actions here matter. I genuinely, with my whole body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit, can say, I want every single one of these people to go to heaven.
I want you to worry less about what other people are going to do in the afterlife. It's nice that you want that for people. That's a nice positive thing to want for people. But you are spending so much time worrying about what other people are doing, saying, thinking, expressing, that it is sucking up your precious time here on earth. You are spending time spiraling out in a podcast with your brand new husband who you could be just like out enjoying your life with. You are financially set. You are comfortable. You are, you're safe. You're healthy. Go live your life. This is such a waste of your time. And sure, yeah, you could say the same for me, but like, I have the hardest time wrapping my brain around the things that occupy this woman's mind.
And this is not the path. Gossip is a sin. Slander is a sin.
Cool. I don't fucking care. No one is slandering you, especially right now.
What year is it?
Right.
This type of behavior, this obsession over money, luxury, idolatry, vanity, wanting to be like the cool kid, wanting to break the story, wanting to have all the hot goss, like this is sinful behavior.
Okay, and again, when you opened with this God-like fucking conversation, you said, not everybody believes in heaven, not everybody believes in hell, and not everybody believes in God. So who the fuck cares? Who cares? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Lots of things are sins that we do every single day of our lives.
And I know a lot of people hear that word sin and they're like, I'm not Christian, like whatever. This is sinful behavior.
Okay, but if they're not Christian, why would they care? You are preaching at people who don't fucking care. You don't have to believe that the things that they're saying about you are true. If you want to live in your own world where you don't have to actually take any criticism because you have this really broad subjective view of what constructive criticism sounds like, a compliment sandwich and whatnot, whatever. You don't have to take that criticism. You don't have to hear what they say. You don't have to listen, and you don't, clearly.
This is inhumane behavior. It's honestly, I don't know who needs to hear this. Gossip is loser behavior.
Oh no, how will I ever show my face in a homeroom?
Loser.
Right.
Like when I see somebody dedicating video after video about me or anybody, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. Like that's what Trisha Paytas said about me. I'm scared. She's harassing me. She's stalking me. To spend this much time downloading footage, reading gossip forums,
Right.
DMing people, looking at pictures, writing a script, editing it, watching it back, uploading it, making a thumbnail with my face. Meanwhile, the only reason I remember Angelica Oles exists is because she joined my Patreon and I got a notification. Angelica Oles pledged for $5. But all these people are in different places now.
I mean, let's be fair here. I mean, when do you think the last time, and Trisha, this is speaking good on your behalf, assuming that maybe you're watching this or something.
She's watching.
Yeah. You know, when's the last time that you can like verifiably say that like Trisha said anything negative against you? You know,
I wouldn't say anytime soon. I do want to give that to her credit.
You should open with that, first of all. Also, like, acting all high and mighty about how gossip is a sin and, like, creating drama commentary channels is, like, loser behavior. And imagine writing it and scripting it and putting it together and editing it. Girl, you used to tell fucked up story times about hookups and Uber drivers and all that shit that is so personally humiliating. Like, you want to go tit for tat on content. It's its own genre, okay? It's its own genre of YouTube content, okay? And I mean, at some point, I would think you have to just accept that because it's not going anywhere, right? Like, it's something that lives on. Whether the channel is first with the gossip or, you know, super snarky or super bitchy, or they have some sort of other element, or it's just commentary on the human condition or the behaviors of said creator. Like, it's a genre that exists. It's not going to go anywhere because you don't like the things that they have to say.
Right.
I do want to give that.
Because there's been some recent positivity, actually,
Right.
and recent comments on your own TikTok.
Thank you for bringing that up because there have been so many versions of this video, so many versions of, I tried to script it at one point and just make it a TikTok. Like, there have been so many versions, and the beginning is usually like, I'm really happy for you.
But there's growth to be had, and our whole point here is just saying that we believe that Trisha has grown as a person.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that you two are here to make that judgment. I mean, I guess it's good that they're saying something that isn't horrific, but like, has Gabbie grown as a person? Really, though? Like, for real? Because if the God thing still just feels like another costume, in my opinion. There was no real meaningful public apology or acknowledgement of things done. I don't feel like amends was made in any capacity. What do I know? I'm just a sinful commentary channel.
Now you're approaching this situation again from a safe space, from a safe place in life.
And a place where I genuinely don't care what the feedback is. Right. And I think that's what's important is before, when I was literally screaming at the top of my lungs about it, I was still trying to hold on to what I had because I had a huge audience. I had impact, I had influence, I had the ability to get brand deals with basically whoever I wanted, like I could make so much money easily. You know what I mean? Like, I had so much like power and influence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked a lot about it, but let's talk about kind of like maybe like a call to action.
How about better lights? And that's coming from me.
I don't know. See, I like your call of action. I just feel like when it comes to me making like a call of action, I just know that nobody cares about what I say. Does that not nobody.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like the general consensus, like for me to be like, I really wish Trisha would apologize to me and like clear up that all of that was a lie. That's my call to action. Trisha,
I mean,
you were dead wrong for that. You ruined my life for a long time over legitimate, outrageous, persistent, malicious lies.
I feel like this is something that could have happened over the phone.
to the point where it's still impacting you to this day.
To this day, in a crazy degree. And I'm proud of you. Genuinely, I'm happy for you. I love that you have a family that seems to really ground you and give you peace. It seems like you're experiencing a lot of like commercial success, and I'm genuinely happy for you. Like, I don't want you to suffer at all, but I have suffered a lot, and I still suffer from your actions, like your direct actions of trying to hurt me and succeeding.
This is so fucking rich. This is so rich. I'm not necessarily going to sit here and say that she's like making all the shit up about Trisha Paytas or whatever. Her experience was her experience. But like, to say this to somebody after again, attacking people like Rachel Oates, Angelica Oates, Jessie Smiles. Like, the list she just named. Just pick any one of them. She had something to say. What the fuck are you, like, expecting apologies from people? The entitlement of expecting apologies from people while you have so many apologies to make still is crazy to me. Like, that is so crazy. Speaking of crazy, remember when Gabbie Hanna wrote a song for Trisha Paytas without Trisha's permission? It was called Call Me Crazy. And that was weird. What a weird time that was, but I'm probably just gaslighting somebody.
If she addressed it in any other way than an apology, what else would she do? She would just be doubling down on the fact that I'm a crazy psychopath who won't leave her alone. You know what I mean? And it's like, that literally, she wouldn't leave me alone. Like, if you would count the number of videos that Trisha made, literally, by the way, this part to me, it genuinely is so disgusting to me. And I can't believe it was so endorsed for her to do a dance to a viral sound that was made, to literally having a mental breakdown talking about Trisha Paytas, Jessie Smiles, Jen Dent, Megan Ranks, what's the other one? Lily Marston. Like, all these girls who are legitimate, like me. I know you don't know. Like, they literally are like ghosts who are awakened from the grave whenever I have to like talk about it.
Yeah. I just think it would be great for her to come back and like address it these years later. Now,
Yeah, I think addressing it is one thing. I think demanding an apology is kind of weird. I think, hey, give me a call, let's hash this out in private. And then if you receive the apology that you're seeking, then that's great. If you all can come to peaceful terms, that's great. But like starting a podcast and like having episode 1 be like, I'll wait for your apology, Trisha. Like, fucking wild, man.
she's already had positive things to say about you. Do I think she would come back online and just start slandering your name again? I don't think so. But I'm not going to ask
I don't know though, and
specifically
here's why I don't know, because I started this video by addressing the root, which was Trisha Paytas was intentionally and with motive trying to destroy my credibility as much as she possibly could, as persistently as she could, because she thought that I was going to expose her for having herpes.
Right. Because we did talk about the herpes thing again.
Exactly. So I could see her.
Which might be a trigger point.
It is.
Okay, but like, why would that be a motivation if, as Gabbie said, Trisha posted herself that she had herpes? Why would that be a motivation for her? Especially because Gabbie already, she already told everybody. And it wasn't her name, it was her picture. You can see in one of the screenshots a little bit of Trisha's picture. Like, you can make out that that's Trisha Paytas. And then in one of the follow-up shots, there was a photo in it that was basically, I think it was it Trisha? It was like a drawing of Trisha, or it was Trisha herself. Like, she didn't hide who it was. Like, she clearly, I'm not saying she did it maliciously. I'm saying that you could see in the screenshots that she shared, she was talking about Trisha Paytas.
It's a trigger point for her, but it's important to my story that there was an actual reason that she went on this tirade, this incessant campaign, dancing to the sound of me having a mental breakdown that she caused.
I think that's really pushing it. But also, I think the cause might have been drugs.
Right.
Like, there's a reason that I still get flooded today with she's manic, because it makes it impossible for me to enjoy creating when I can't get on. And I know, like, for a fact, if I get on right now and I go into the comment section, because I want to communicate with my fans, I want to communicate with people about the topic that I'm discussing, the majority of the comments are, here we go again. Hey, I'm really not trying to sound like a hater, but I'm genuinely concerned for your mental health. I'm a psychologist, that blah, blah, blah. Like, literally, like, I just want to be able to promote my album with my husband. I want to be able to promote future music. I want to be able to post singing videos, dancing videos. I want to be able to just exist without being told told I'm psychotic based on a rumor and a lie that Trisha Paytas started to protect herself from a threat that didn't exist.
Your behavior is why people feel that way. I really don't believe that Trisha is the root. I am curious to see what she's going to have to say about it, though.
Yeah.
Because you are the only person that can feel this way about this situation.
Yeah.
And you're valid for feeling the way that you do.
Yeah.
So I'll just say that now. But you're the only person that's going to feel this way because it's directly affecting you and really just you.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
I mean, sure, me too, residually, because I'm your husband as well.
Yeah, but not really, because our life rocks.
Right. But like, as far as like, you know.
That's also a pattern, by the way. This like, it's fine, lol, because my life is awesome. She tends to get what I've noticed in patterns is like, she tends to get real braggadocious and boastful about herself when she's feeling low. And again, I'm not trying to psychoanalyze the girl, but like, these are just the patterns that I've noticed.
So the ruminations that come up and the fact that you have to think about these things every day throughout the day.
I'm the one making TikToks reading the comments.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that, you know, keep bringing us back to that because, you know, there's going to be a lot of people watching this that are obviously, you know, one of the number one comments you can probably already see coming up is like, why are we, you know, harping on this 2019, 2021 news, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's been an ongoing daily impact. And that's your position on it.
And this was my bars. I dropped this in the podcast that we didn't post because it was just didn't make sense. But for a lot of people, this is in the past. Mm-hmm. But for me, this is my present. And a lot of times it feels like it's my entire presence.
Okay, but like, that's something for therapy. I'm not in the business of saying like, this thing I didn't experience could not have affected you the way that you say that it has. Like, I'm not in the business of saying that to anybody. Because as her husband very astutely pointed out, like, if this is something that affects her, it only affects her. Right? But, like, in my opinion, that's a call for therapy. The unearned righteousness that she's expressing in all of this, like, the forgiveness arc, the being on an elevated plane of, like, faith and spirituality kind of shit is so ridiculous. You can hate the commentary channels all you want. You know, all the Jessie Smiles stuff specifically happened long before the Trisha Paytas stuff. And I'm not sitting here calling her a rape apologist. I do think that she was absolutely fucking vile to Jessie. And that's a whole other can of worms, which I assume we're going to get to, because why wouldn't we drag up all this old drama? What are we? Drama channels?
What year is it?
It doesn't just follow me, it precedes me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whose fucking fault is that? Who made that an even bigger spectacle? The, like, entrapment of now being able to foot the blame for her erratic behavior online as attributing it to Trisha Paytas is wild. Gabbie will do anything except take any actual semblance of accountability for herself. Yeah,
and it's your reality, and it doesn't even have to be a reality for the people that caused it to you anymore.
Yeah.
It's only for you now.
It's only for me.
Okay, so what we're saying is, like, the reality, it doesn't have to actually reflect reality, because Gabbie felt gaslit by Trisha Paytas. Therefore, Gabbie carries trauma, and her reputation preceding her is because of that. I'm just making sure I've got it right, so that when I give my constructive criticism, I can get more out than just, what?
And everybody just goes on and like just lives their life.
Right.
And again, I always have to come back and ground it in this fact too, because it is the truth. If none of this happened, you and I would not be here right now. Mm-hmm. And that's the most important thing to me in the world. Like, I literally prayed to God, if I have to trade everything I ever thought I wanted for my soulmate, I'm willing to make that trade.
Okay, well then change your first stance. Go back and retroactively change your first stance to be alongside the video, Why I Don't Trust Gabbie Hanna. Be thankful and call it a day. Seriously, why don't you just go live your life? Why do you need to be on the internet? Because, like, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of these creators who have been canceled or whatever, or even just seen a lot of controversy or like erratic behavior or whatever, I feel like they try to find their second life on TikTok or a second channel or whatever. That's how James Charles stays relevant. That's how Shane Dawson stays relevant. They end up on the timelines of younger people who maybe don't know about their transgressions. And I think it would be very easy for Gabbie Hanna to find that audience and to find an audience of people to be like, hey, be nice to Gabbie. But it's like, for the people who were there and the people who watched everything happen and watched this all unfold in real time, like, you're not going to convince us. You're not going to gaslight us into a different reality. You know what I mean? Whether or not Trisha Paytas was being authentic in not remembering or just actually fucking gaslighting Gabbie, whatever. You're not going to make us forget the rest of the stuff that happened and make us believe that that's rooted in your experience with Trisha Paytas. At least me. I don't know. Obviously, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, sorry. I'm going to save my money for something else because I'm not buying it.
Mm-hmm. And then he gave me you. And now I get to just like create with you for the reasons that we want. But
yeah. We just want to be able to create and feel like we're creating in a safe space.
You can create in a safe space and not perpetuate these stories and these cycles, because, like, I gotta be honest, a part of me believes that Gabbie Hanna knows exactly what she's doing here, because she knows that tomorrow there are going to be like 100 commentary videos on it, including my own. Every time Gabbie's had something to promote, she's started some shit.
Yeah, and I feel like this is also just for like my community, my family, my like friends, my like future church communities of like, who is she? What is this? Because it's very mysterious, right? Like you just find out about this girl and then you Google and you just see all this weird stuff.
Who Googles someone they just meet like in a community? Unless I'm dumb, looking at this from like an outside perspective, just with like the explanation and the reasoning and like the storytelling that Gabbie has done here in the last hour, I wouldn't feel like, and I still don't feel like I understand where the trauma comes from. Like, I feel like that probably could have been explained a little bit more thoroughly. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I don't know.
Which, dude, I haven't Googled myself in like many, many years because I just know I can't stomach it. So I don't even know what it is. But I know that it can't be great. I know it's got to be at least a little embarrassing. So yeah, I just want to have it.
Well, now that we've kind of like wrapped up everything that kind of happened with the Trisha situation, we've kind of reiterated a couple times the fact that we understand that she's in a different place in life and has not been ongoingly slandered.
And we're happy for her.
And we're happy for her.
And wait, is this really dark this whole time?
No, I've been eyeballing it and it hasn't been. It's just...
Are you sure?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm 100% sure.
Okay, cool.
Sorry about any darkness. No, it should be fine. It's fine for the
Wait, it's dark right now. Isn't it?
This is some quality shit.
I would just like to add that, you know, we're at a point too in internet culture or internet history really, where the culture is cancel culture. Like it's becoming such a huge thing.
No, you missed that boat, big guy. You missed that boat. We're already on the influencers don't care that they're being canceled train, so.
And we're also entering a period of time that we're talking about here where, you know, COVID is about to kick in.
Right.
And like, people have nothing better really to do.
People had the COVID crazies.
Then, yeah.
Okay, y'all need to speak in correct tenses, because were you saying that then it was the, like, advent of cancel culture? Or now is the advent of like, you have to, like, this, maybe it's just because it's now 1:30 in the morning and I'm exhausted from this, but, like.
What year is it?
Well, people were sitting at home, you know. I know for me personally, you know, I was on my computer all the time during COVID. I mean, what else are you going to do? You're kind of quarantined. You're to your own self the whole time.
Yeah. At some point, we all need to process that together as as a globe of like, wow, we all experienced a trauma together. COVID was a trauma. We were all afraid for our lives.
Yes.
None of us knew what was going on. We were all sort of on the same page.
Were we?
And one thing that a lot of people did to make it better for themselves was kind of gang in on people and just kind of like, well, you know, at least my life isn't this person's life.
No, literally.
You know what I mean? Like, I
literally.
mean, that's just, you know, people find
I just became a scapegoat, and I'm saying, like, ever since Rice Gum assaulted me at a party, shattered my phone, made fun of my nose, called me fat, like all that stuff, and it was like publicly celebrated, I just became a piñata.
Girl, pretty much everybody that was on your list there was on your side for the Rice Gum situation. Calling yourself a fucking scapegoat and acting like people were just grabbing proverbial sticks and beating the shit out of you because they could is so disingenuous and shows no real actual growth or ability to take accountability. If you didn't see that most people were on your side, even people who initially were like, oh God, Gabbie was being annoying and Rice Gum attacked her, okay, literally came around and were like, oh, no, I take that back, she was right. I feel like Rice Gum is one of those situations where, like, at this point everybody agrees that Gabbie was in the right.
Of, oh, this person doesn't matter. They have no dignity. They have no personhood. We can just literally physically and verbally assault her, and it's okay.
You know, jumping back to Trisha, how she's just seeing you as more of a character online instead of an actual person who has like a real life outside of that. So, anyways, that's kind of where those are kind of the main points we want to hit with this podcast. Like, obviously, you're a real person who deals with this real trauma on a daily basis.
Okay, but what is the actual trauma? Commenting on a public-facing person's actions, behaviors, posts, that's not stalking and harassment. Even if you make multiple videos. It's questionable. You know, like I said, I knew when to stop because it felt questionable, right? So for me, I made that decision for myself to stop making so many videos about Gabbie. And I didn't make a video about Gabbie for a long time, probably a year or two at all. I stopped in the middle of her expose series and I didn't pick it up until she started having, you know, manic episodes or psychosis or whatever you want to call it on TikTok. People having an opinion on you and having that opinion not be a positive one based on your actions, literally regurgitating the words that you've said or the actions that you've done and like showing them. I will say in most of my Gabbie Hanna videos, they come with receipts and with video evidence of the things that I am talking about to support my points. And they are all videos or screenshots or whatever of Gabbie doing the thing I'm saying she's doing. Full context, nothing left out, nothing edited in a fashion to make her look worse. So if that's what slander is, if that's what is misinformation or gossip, okay, send me to hell.
And
For 6 years.
And while the other people involved are able to move on a lot more easily because they obviously weren't the victims in the case, you know.
Yeah, but
who's they? But also, like, that's a Gabbie problem. I'm sorry, but that's a fucking Gabbie problem. Take it to therapy and work it out like a fucking adult. And if what you need is closure in this situation, what you need, if you feel like you truly need an apology, then you call up Trisha Paytas or send her a DM or reach out to her in some fashion, reach out to her management, send her a message and see if that's possible. What the fuck is this?
it's crazy because they literally all made themselves out to be my victim. Like, Trisha literally made herself a victim of me.
Yeah.
I'm a stalker. I'm harassing her. I'm scaring her. I'm threatening her. I'm a physical threat. Like, she literally made herself a victim of me based on nothing.
Yeah.
And then Jesse Smiles somehow took something that was completely unrelated to me and somehow still made herself a victim of me by tying me to something that had nothing to do with me and never did.
Jesse, Curtis's friends didn't rape you, is a real sentence she said after hanging out with Curtis's friends. I think what Gabbie actually is a shitty friend. Sorry, but hearing out your friend's rapist because he's a human being, it's never going to be the right answer. You can try to put Jesse in the line of fire for that, but whether or not you want to use the term rape apologist or not, that's vile behavior.
Yeah.
And if anything was the total opposite, because I was literally the only person to support her, choose her, continue working with her, and collaborating with her.
Wow. We really should stop and thank Gabbie Hanna for that more. What a fucking saint.
Yeah. Yeah. While also being able to, like, we see these things, we talk about these things on these podcasts, and we also recognize obviously where you are now, you know, as a child of God, as a follower of Christ. Yeah. And ultimately, you know, there were plenty of things back in those days that deserved an apology from you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you're not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect person.
All right, Hoobastank. Get to the point.
There's been various times in my life where I have strayed away from my faith, and I have been like the opposite of what you'd expect out of like a God-fearing person. You know what I mean? Like there's just been those moments that I regret. And needless to say, like we all have those. Like you have those, I have those, they have those. But the thing is, like when you're willing to finally go on that righteous path and
This is hell, isn't it? I think this is what hell is.
accept God, that's when you can really turn your life around. So that's what we kind of want to bring this back to as well. Of course, always. So
right. And thank you for being here and for including that. And I think it was, first of all, a reason why it's so important to have like a spiritual partner, a romantic, loving partner, like a helpmate. So I appreciate that, because it's something that I do tell myself a lot, and I've told myself a lot over the years. And I believe God wouldn't have allowed us to meet until I reached that point of just total acceptance, total forgiveness, and also total compassion. Because at the end of the day, these people have hurt me a lot. And when I speak about it, it takes me to a place of emotion and like reliving it, that it's hard for me to not speak from a place of emotion.
Can I speak from a place of I'm over this shit? I feel like perhaps the reason that these things are still so emotional for Gabbie Hanna is not that she needs to forgive, but that I think deep down she probably knows that she's not the victim in most of these situations, and that she's got a lot to actually atone for, and that she's never going to be free of these fucking demons, this plague on her existence, on her heart, on her soul, on her spirit, on her career. She's never going to be free of them unless she apologizes, unless she takes ownership for real and accountability for real, and talks to these people directly and acknowledges that the things that she did do were fucked up. Because as much as she wants to be a victim, as much as she wants apologies so that she can forgive and continue feeling righteous in the choices that she makes in this God cosplay bullshit, as much as she wants to do that, she can never get past the mental hurdle, because in here somewhere is a conscience, and that conscience says, hey, you actually have a lot of shit to own up to. And she's not going to be free from that until she does.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be talking about this, and I feel like I literally have to, or else I can't move on with my life. Like,
this is like a carbon copy, literally. I'm sorry to stop so abruptly. This is a carbon copy of the Enough podcast, the High School Fucking Bullies podcast, where she sat there for, I don't know, an hour and yelled all the same shit at Irene and what the fuck was her boyfriend's name? Peyton. It's exactly the same. It's the same podcast, only it's less angry and more God.
Fuck you! I have to at least advocate for myself a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like over the years in my private time, in my prayer, and just recognizing what God did for me and how he used this situation, how this was the vehicle to reach me, and I can be grateful for it.
Being able to recognize the fact that there's been some people that have done some atrocious things to you, but yet you may have not always been the greatest friend to them.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I actually kind of like her husband. I think he's doing the best with the information that he has, right? Which is obviously very skewed and biased. But he is pretty good at rooting it in like, hey, you should also make sure you're acknowledging that maybe you weren't the best person all of the time. I think that's great. I think that if there's one positive that we can glean from this video, I think that's it. Which isn't saying much, but
I can speak to that because like you're the person I love the most on this earth and like my best friend. And maybe there's been times where I haven't been the best friend to you.
And I haven't been the best friend too.
wow. Heavy.
Right. And so because we can see that within each other and we're married and we're the closest people to each other, it's safe to say that that's, you know, a repeatable thing within other relationships that you've had throughout your life as well.
Right. And what sucks is like, I do know that.
Yes.
Like I'm not.
Yes.
You're
not blind to that.
Yes, I am actually a very self-reflective and self-aware person.
Right.
It just sucks when you feel like you have to come out and like defend yourself. And it's like, I'm not trying to paint myself as like holier than you and like better than you.
Okay, but you just extended forgiveness to a bunch of people who are not sorry and have no reason to be sorry. You're extending this righteous forgiveness to people who express their opinions about you. So, you do seem to think that you're holier than everyone. And defend yourself against whom? The only thing people were talking about was the fact that you are starting to pile up TikToks, delusional, weird TikToks, again. That they're picking up on the pattern again.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like I have to defend myself against the fact that you're telling me I said things I didn't say.
Yeah.
Did things I didn't do. Am somebody I'm not. So now it's like I have to remind myself and feel like I need to communicate to the world that this is actually a weird, toxic thing.
Okay, but like, again, everything you just said was incredibly ambiguous. And like, sure, we could go into the podcast and watch it. And I could just launch myself through a plate glass window. But if you're getting this off your chest and you want this to be like that definitive time that you said all the things you needed to say and you got the closure you needed to get and you're healing and blah, 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 wouldn't you be a little bit more, I don't know, specific?
Whereas in my world, it would have just been like, you know what? We're both toxic in our 20s.
Yes.
We're not supposed to be friends right now. Like, let's just separate. That's what it was for me. Let's just separate.
Okay, but again, like, so much of that podcast was, I thought we were friends, from Gabbie. Am I being gaslit right now? I feel like I'm being gaslit right now.
But for her, it was like literally years of planting these seeds of grooming the public to be opposed to me as aligned with her rapist. And like it did.
Now we're talking about Jesse. Okay, I can't even fucking keep up with who we're talking about at this point. So now Jessie Smiles is so manipulative that she's planting seeds to make it look, oh my god. Like the fact, I literally don't ever think that people think about me this much. Like, the fact that she thinks that people in her life or out of her life or tangentially related to her life think about her so much that they really, really spend extended amounts of time trying to figure out how to ruin her. And to me, that feels like projection.
It didn't matter who else was, all the people who were actively still working with him. It was the fact that I chose to befriend her when nobody else would.
Yeah.
That actually became my crime.
No, that's not what your crime was. Your crime was, as you said, to sit down with Curtis Lepore and hear his side. If you are sitting down to hear a rapist's side because he's a human fucking being, as you said, that is your crime. You're not going to be canonized for showing basic friendship skills. And also, the thing where you hear out the rapist negates the friendship skills. This has never been rocket science. This has never been a complicated thing.
Yeah. Because then it wasn't that you chose Curtis, because everybody chose Curtis. It was the fact that I extended a hand to her. That was actually my crime.
Still wrong. And you know it, because you already went on this diatribe in your expose series when you sat on that fucking couch in whatever print that was on that button-up shirt. I could see it in my mind's eye with those fuck-ass glasses. And you sat there and you talked about hearing out Curtis Lepore because he's a human being. You cannot rewrite history. And I think that's why, the same way that Trisha Paytas makes Gabbie Hanna mad, in my opinion, because they were so similar that it became, it could become a gaslight off. I think, in my opinion, Gabbie Hanna hates commentary and drama channels because commentary and drama channels hold the fucking receipts. Because you cannot rewrite history if all of the commentary and drama channels still have the receipts. You can't do it. And I'm pretty sure I can speak for the commentary community when I say we're not going to let you.
Right. Well, anyways, more on that whole story as far as, as part of part two.
Part two, yeah.
Of this. But also, we had the unique experience on our trip where you got to do some shooting of a podcast with Taylor, who you mentioned as well.
Yeah.
Within this
My
podcast.
best friend who was there.
Yeah.
And we actually didn't even get to the nitty gritty of it because there's a lot to talk. I'm going to be talking about this situation for a long time. So if you're Jesse Smiles or a drama channel or anybody here who's like, stop talking about it. No, I'm not going to.
Okay, well then same, girl. Neither are we.
I'm literally not going to until I feel like I've said everything I want to say, because this is ultimately a part of my testimony. Mm-hmm. This was an earth-shattering, soul-changing, life-altering life event for me.
Which one? Drama channels existing? Trisha Paytas existing? Jesse Smiles existing? Which one are we talking about? Do you think next time maybe we could make this a little more organized, a little more scheduled? Maybe an outline? Anything?
I went from literally getting TV deals, music deals, brand deals, collaborations, anything I wanted at my fingertips, to literally losing everything.
Hey girl, you're not entitled to those things. I would never contact sponsors or brands or other influencers or anybody to detract them from working with anybody else, not even Gabbie Hanna. I mean, unless they were like murderers or something, you know what I mean? I would never do that personally. That's not my game. That's not my style. I'm not interested in standing in the way of someone's fucking business or financial gain. But you are not entitled to success just because you've had success. Again, shows a complete lack of growth and accountability.
Basically overnight, to questioning my sanity, to changing my whole life. And being on this side, guess what? Just as maybe just a greater lesson to end this on for today is when I was living in that house, living that life, having that attention, having those opportunities, those views, that praise, it was such an unhappy version of myself.
Yeah, girl, we could tell. That's what most of us were saying. If you ever bothered to listen to one of us, you would hear the things that we actually said. There was a lot of concern for you and your mental well-being.
I was not happy. And you guys knew it. I wasn't even pretending to be happy. I was literally telling you every day, I'm depressed and I'm sad. And it's kind of my brand. And I wrote a little book about it. And I wrote these little songs about it. You guys know that I was actually genuinely not happy.
Because and you were looking for the thing that's the things that are really important in life.
Like love.
Right. Like love, like God.
Like God.
Yeah.
Well, God is love.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Right. Yeah. Of course, God is love. That's what I was gonna say that, but then you got there before me.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just
Right.
saying, like, real, genuine, loving relationships. God,
Yeah,
you know,
because what
all
you
these
really
things.
need is like peace. And like I didn't have peace because I was literally battling demons.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I'm in a different situation. I'm not making the money I was making.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living in, a humble house in Pennsylvania and not a big house in LA.
Yeah.
Life is just different. And it's not what I would have expected that I wanted, because what my brain wanted, what my ego wanted was, well, I need this big house to prove that I'm successful because everybody said I couldn't make it, and I need to prove that I can make it. And this fear that if I leave here, then everybody will say that I'm a loser. And then it's just like, wait,
Yeah.
who cares?
Right.
Like, what do I actually want?
Right. I think you could apply it to everything that's happened in this video too. What do you actually want? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to go enjoy your life? Or do you want to like continue to just bandy about this bitterness toward everyone you've ever met in the internet space? Like, it's just, it just comes, I don't know. I guess whatever you gotta do to get the shit off your chest, but this is just so excessive. Excessive and also like nothing at the same time. It's like extravagant, but like tacky. It's not like Tiffany, it's like Tiffany with an I.
A smaller, less expensive house to maintain in a place where I know people and is not costing me $25,000 in property taxes a year. Like, there's no reason.
It's crazy how much less expensive it is to maintain, even though you have to deal with so many more elements in Western PA than
Right.
Southern California. Like, it is kind of crazy, right? But it's just, Western PA, we're just equipped different out here. Like, we just tough it out. We do it. And,
Yeah.
and it's not that expensive.
I really realized this winter, I'm reminded all the time, God will not let me forget how wonderful it is to have you and how grateful I am to have you, because it was like so cold and so snowy, and we had like literally 15 inches of snow and like treacherous ice. And who was out there shoveling the sidewalk in the driveway? Who was salting it? Who was like digging out the snow from the pipes that were preventing our house from being warm? Because we like woke up a couple times and it was like cold because something about, I don't know. I didn't look at it. You took care of it.
Yeah. We have the furnace in the basement, and then there's the intake and exhaust on the back side of the house. And it's been so cold. I mean, we're talking sub-zero temps that there's been like ice getting in the pipes.
Hey, that's dangerous. Just FYI. Also, congratulations on your manservant, I guess. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. He doesn't seem like a serial killer. So.
Yeah.
And it's been triggering the furnace to like kick off on its own. So got to go clear that out. It hasn't been doing it though ever since my expert dad came over and like tweaked the pipes a little bit so they're not so close together.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's like the 9th time he's tried to end this podcast.
the joy of home ownership, but also the joy of having a dad that also knows a little bit more about home ownership and what they're doing and can help you out sometimes.
Yeah. And that's like the cycle of life, honestly.
And we're figuring it out here. I'm figuring it out.
And then you'll tell our kids.
Exactly.
That's so cute.
I don't want to be that person, okay? I don't want to be that person who hears someone say that they want kids and talk about starting a family with somebody and be like, oh God, girl, don't have kids. But like, I'm just going to think it really hard, okay? I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to think it. Kids require, oh my God. Children require a level of selflessness that I genuinely don't think Gabbie is even close to being ready to achieve. Yeah, that's about all I can stomach of this. Unfortunately, I would like to hear your story, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I started filming this around 9, so God help editing me. What did we learn here today? Nothing. And neither did Gabbie Hanna. Clearly. I think episode 2 is just going to be a recap because this wore me down physically and emotionally. I'm going to go over there where the bed is and be horizontal in it. So I'll see you next time for what I assume will be me yelling. So good for me. All right. Make sure you subscribe if you want to be. If you don't, after today, I don't blame you. Make sure you like the video, unless you didn't like it, in which case, whatever. I got a tiny duck. All right, I gotta go. Stay cool. Bye.
Somebody tells you that somebody has an STD, an incurable STD, it comes from a close friend of theirs, a source, and then you find out that a friend of yours is sleeping with them. Is it wrong of you to say, hey, just so you know, I've heard this, don't know if it's true, but this person told me, talk to them about it, ask about it?
Shut the fuck up!